Yes, here, giving you MG Tempest versus MG Empire. Already in 2 picks and bans. Yes, how we doing, my friend?
Pretty excited for the first game that I'm casting for this league, as well as the first game for these two teams, MG Tempest and MG Empire. Sister teams are going head to head, so maybe they already know some secret strats from them, so it's going to be interesting to watch.
Yep, sister teams indeed, and we will see how these two siblings face off against each other. We've got Seraphine, Vladimir, Udyr on the side of MG Tempest banned out, and Nar, Diana, and Tristana looking like it's going to be the bans on this side, but switching over to the Karma on the side of MG Empire. So first pick here on the blue side is going to be that Tristana, that ever-coveted pick, flexing in the mid and bottom lane.
Yeah, one of the best, you could say, mid laners slash AD carries. It has a lot of pressure into certain matchups, and it's one of those picks that you see popping up a lot lately, especially you see it in pro scene, so most of the time it translates into these kind of games. And it's for a reason. Tristana is really strong, but I think the Orianna is a safe answer to it that can fight if it's picked. And I think overall it goes well with a lot of compositions.
Yep, Orianna seems to be the pick here, assuming that Tristana is potentially the mid lane matchup, unless they've got some inside information saying that their mid laner does not play Tristana. So we shall see here. We will see if the Tristana is being navigated by MG Sloth or by Christian. However, we do have the Hecarim, another coveted pick. Has been seeing some nerfs here on the live patch versus what is currently being played in pro play, which is 11.5 and 11.6, depending on your region. But Hecarim's still a very strong pick. The Chem Tank build makes him very durable and has a lot of ganking power.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because the Hecarim was nerfed not only as a champion, but because of the Camptown also received some small nerfs, but it was also slightly buffed because the Trinity Force, which is also an item that Hecarim can also take, was buffed. So it kind of helps him keep up in the meta as well with variations to what he can build. But I like the Bolivar response because it also keeps us a flex, and the Thresh is kind of a safe pick or a comfort pick for MG Tempest support. And I think it's okay to take it this early, even if you're not showing a lot in the ADC or mid lane. I think these kind of picks just go into what the player wants to play most instead of what the composition is goes for better. And the Tamkinch it's in the same vein that it can be a comfort against the Thresh, more so than it being a good pick for the composition.
Absolutely. The Thresh and Volibear rounding out the first phase for MG Tempest. Tahm Kench rolling in there, and with no hesitation, the first ban from MG Tempest is that Senna, separating that TK Senna bot lane. So they'll have to be coming up with something else if they want to do with Tahm Kench. Tahm Kench is a very safe pick, though. Over Thresh, I do agree, is the typical just all-around pick. If you want to play support, learn Thresh, just because Thresh provides everything you need. He provides engage, he provides disengage, he's got shields, he's got slows, he's got pulls. Everything you want, besides a heal, he basically has it. Gallia coming in as the 5th and final ban on the side of MG Empire here, waiting on one more ban here from MG Tempest.
Yeah, a lot of these bans are definitely respect bans against the other teams. This just shows how much each other knows from the other team. Because Diane is not a typical ban, and Sen and Camille are more directed towards their counterparts. So I think it's mostly respect bans, so that the players cannot have comfort in any of their lanes. But I think it leaves a lot of powerful picks to go. For example, Shen is a good pick to have with a Hecarim, especially.
Yep, the Shen Hecarim combo in combination with the Orianna Ball, you do get to have yourself a lot of shielding and a lot of utility coming into some of these mid-game team fights. It gets to make a lot of uneven matchups. They're saving their last pick for the AD carry here. Definitely going to need to pick some AD here. Otherwise, you won't have a ton of damage. I'm suspecting a hyper carry like in the realm of the Jinx, Xayah, or Kai'Sa, but we will see. We've got the Morgana coming in here. So a lot of different things. That could be potentially a Morgana jungle. I have been seeing some dabbling in that, or the Morgana mid lane, with that already being a Tristana bottom lane. But we will see here in about 18 seconds what the final pick is here for MG Tempest.
Yeah, this still leaves so much open for what they can try. Obviously, the last pick will come and we will see what their whole focus in the composition is. But overall, I like how they drafted in that they didn't show a lot. And now they take the hyper carrying Jinx. So now they have a lot of threats in both AD carry and mid lane, as well as the jungle pro, possibly being Dot Morgana. I saw that there were some buffs, some interesting changes to her in regards of jungle, so maybe that is also an option. And now the answer in ADC, Aphelios, it's a hypercar in a sense, but I don't think it's the best kind of champion that you could pick against a Jinx. But maybe because of the Hecarim and Shen, as well as because of the Tahm Kench's safety, he can try and provide a lot of damage in the chaotic scenario that his team composition is built around.
Absolutely, definitely going to be trying to protect the AD carry here. Protect this Aphelios is kind of the name of the game here for MG Empire. While MG Tempest, it's looking like that's gonna, I'm assuming that's a Volibear top with a Morgana jungle. Should be
Yeah.
fairly interesting. There are lots of CC from their team and lots of very strong team fight damage. If the Tristana or the Jinx gets a reset, this is going to be a very, very explosive game here from the side of MG Tempest, and we're going to see if MG Empire can withstand their onslaught, and be able to bring one of their own with a lot of the dive that they have lined up on their team.
Yeah, and also one thing to keep into account with MG Tempest's composition is that they have 2 AD carries. So after 20 minutes, their objective damage is going to be really high. So the MG Empire needs to keep that into account and try and control the areas around objectives really well, because any moment of hesitation they have in the map, or any moment that they just leave a blind spot, MG Tempest can take full advantage of that and then just rush objectives and then try and finish the game off of that.
Yep, and I stand corrected. It will actually be El Torito navigating the Morgana here in the top lane on this against Creamy Nipple.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a fun name. That's gonna be a fun name to say. So let's talk about that Shen Morgana matchup. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
It works in the same vein as just range against melee top lane matchup, in the sense that you have the advantage with the Morgana. She can push waves easy with her W, and the Shen shouldn't be able to do much, especially because Morgana's shield blocks the taunt from Shen. So even if he tries to go in and taunt her, Morgana can just use her shield on top of her and negate that kind of follow of a stun from the Shen. So most of the times there shouldn't be a lot of kill potential or kill threat on that lane, but Morgana should be able to push the wave easily, especially after level 5 and 6. She should be able to push the wave and try and rotate around with the Bolivar. I think that's the main idea to have with the both of them, or even try and dive the Shen under turret with the power of the Morgana CC as well as the Bolivar ultimate. I think that may be the idea.
Yep, definitely gonna be a execution and skill-based matchup here, with combining the Black Shield and the Dark Binding here against the Shen's taunt and a lot of his abilities to disengage and ignore damage. So very interesting there.
Yeah.
So going through, so we've got Morgana and Shen in the top lane. We've got Volibear, Hecarim in the jungle, Tristana, Orianna in the mid lane, and then the bottom lane being Jinx Thresh across from Aphelios, Tahm Kench. Let's bring it down over to the bot lane for a moment. What are your thoughts on these two lanes we've got lined up for us?
Well, obviously we're playing in amateur competition, so anything can happen. But mostly this just seems to me like a handshake lane, a gentleman's agreement to not do anything until they are able to deal damage. So I think it will be mostly just ping pong waves, get farm, get small advantages, and when they have 1 to 2 items, they will start to actually fight. And the Tahm Kench and the Thresh will probably be out of this lane. I don't think they will stay a lot, because I don't think they have a lot of kill pressure on either side. So the Thresh will try and go to other lanes, support those lanes. The Tristana can go in and kill the Orianna, so I think focus can go on there as well. But I think Aphelios and Jinx will want to just stay bot lane and farm, stay away from any kind of action if possible.
Yep, looking like they might want to look for that scaling there. We briefly touched on the mid lane matchup. Let's also talk about the junglers here. You've got the power farming horse on Hecarim run by Savage, and we've got Volibear being navigated by Karijma. So let's talk about what those two bring. Let's talk about how they are going to be looking to impact the game when they want to try to go about.
Yeah, Bolivar was recently buffed in a sense that it helped his jungle pathing, so now he's able to kind of stay afloat in the meta and be able to, in a sense, compete against more of the clearing jungles like Hecarim, Graves, Lilia, that were more prevalent, Udyr, that were more prevalent. And I think it serves a good the good purpose of a tank that can deal damage and can make use of the chem tank as well as Hecarim. But I think if Hecarim is able to go about with his first clear, he should be able to just try and run around and gank more, in a more easy manner than the Bolivar. But I think one of the things that can impact these kind of matchups is the fact that Hecarim doesn't run Flash most of the time, and Bolivar does. So if the Hecarim is not in a good position or is standing in a bad way, the Hecarim, the Bolivar, and anyone that is close to the Bolivar can take advantage of that.
Yep, absolutely. So should be interesting to see what these two teams bring. I am looking for ganks in the mid lane here from both the Volibear and the Hecarim. I think that's going to be kind of a big power spot here with the Tristana jumping in, with the Volibear follow-up, or the Tristana jumping in, and the Hecarim coming in for that counter gank. I think the mid lane is where we are going to see a lot of this explosive combat here, the pre-6 stage, but should be interesting to see what these two teams bring. Again, sister teams here, so they probably know a lot of their ins and outs. But also, people in the chat, let us know what you think. Let us know if it's going to be an MG Tempest win or an MG Empire win. We're going to be taking a break here, and in about 60 seconds, we're going to find ourselves back onto Summoner's Rift here for Game 1 of this week's series in Style Esports. See you soon. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Summoner's Rift here. We've got MG Tempest versus MG Empire. We're seeing the teams come out right away. Standard 5-point here from the side of MG Empire, but MG Tempest coming in looking for a little bit of cheesiness here on this top side of the map with a 5-man invade. And it looks like we already have some potential action going on here. The Dark
Ooh.
Binding does land onto Creamy, lands
Bye
with
bye.
every amount of CC, and that right there is a first blood going on to MG Sloth here for that first blood, not wasting any time, sub 50 seconds on that first blood. Wow, starting off nice and strong.
Yeah, great rotation by them. They took advantage of the fact they have 3 champions that can CC instantly, and the good bind by Morgana to get the stun even blindly, and then just the follow up. And the person that has the first blood, I think it's the most crucial person to have the first blood because Tristana is running Ignite. She can now jump on top of the Oriana and threaten a kill almost at any point with that item advantage that she has.
Yeah, absolutely. And just such a misplay from Creamy, not stepping out from Tribush, so not able to see that they were coming on in. If you step out into the river, you're always going to be able to see if they're trying to approach from the bottom or top side of the river. Could have ended up saving his life, but decides to hide in the bush, hide in the grass, and, well, caught a binding and a hook to the face.
Yeah,
But
he thought he was
overall, right
safe by
now,
doing that, but no.
yep, things are just kind of starting with their standard clears, though. Blue sides, a piece for the junglers, and everyone's just kind of going into the laning phase here.
Yeah, mostly it's standard, but I think because of the kill, the dynamic. Oh, good hook.
Yep, a hook lands here, but not much coming off after that.
See,
However, Tristan is jumping on in.
she's
MG
dead.
Sloth has wasted no time. Flashes, gets in, trades the flash, grabs that second kill now. Now 2-0 up. GBUT's likely going to, just going to utilize that teleport coming back into the lane. What a great play, though, starting off here from MG Sloth. Hooks mixed down in the bottom lane. 2 summoners burned for MG Sloth, but secures that second kill. Still has not recalled yet, though, so could be at a risk for a gank here coming in from the Heck Room.
Yeah, but I think he can try. He can. Tristana can try and once again force another type of solo kill if the Orion is not safe enough. Now she doesn't have flash, so it's at a point where it's risky. Not as much because there's no ignite, but it's still risky. And Tristana is a champion that will always try and do that at level 2, but because of the item advantage, I think Oriana didn't expect that she had so much damage to be able to kill. So really well done by Sloth, and I think this is just propelling forward even more for the Tristana that will be such a menace in so early in the game.
Yep, the coveted Tristana pick that they had hovered for the ban, they decided not to, and Tempest decides to say right away, we are going to pick that first pick, and they are showing why. MG Sloth is doing really well. Another hook missing from the side of Inti Script. But yeah, now that mid lane wave is starting to bounce on back, which is good because that might give the opportunity for MG Sloth to wash, rinse, and repeat on that kill. But so far, GBUT is playing it a little bit smarter, a little bit safer, just saying, I'm going to sit back and my ball's going to do some of the work.
Yeah, but also the Bolivar has flash, so he can try and go into the mid lane as well with the Thresh. So like I said, Thresh will probably try and leave the lane and help in another parts, and they seem to be trying to do that right now.
Yep, looks like there might be a gank setting up here. They're looking for it. They're going in, and they know Oriana's no flash, and they are flashing in themselves. Play the wrong way, but it does not matter. MG Sloth is Oriana killing spree here at 4 minutes. Gets the flash and ignite on Thresh, on Volibear, but doesn't matter. Gets that third kill in, pushes the wave on in. They're going to lose an entire wave of experience, already being doubled in CS, and now just absolutely devastating. She's coming back with a pickaxe now and a second longsword. So much extra damage coming in onto MG Sloth.
Yeah, and once again, that was really well done. They forced the flash. They know that the Oriana doesn't have flash, so they just pile on top of her with a Bolivar stun with the Tristana jump and the flay. Even though it misses, it still doesn't matter because Oriana doesn't have anywhere else to go. She's going to instantly die, and she, as you said, she's losing she lost so much XP, so much farm, and now Tristana can try and pounce on top of her anytime she wants and will die. And also the Jinx got XP, solo XP from that play. So now wait, bot lane.
Yep, looks like we got a flay coming in here, but you do have Infernum Gravitum. Looks like he's going to lock him on down. However, Volibear's coming on in. Gets on to Groomstone Savant for a lot of damage here. Are they going to be able to close out that kill? Comes on in. The Grey Health does help him get on out. And Apazin utilizing the power of Infernum and Gravitum to help dissuade the continuation of that gank, but overall a lot of great power. However, still no summoners burned on the
Oof.
side of the MG
He's dead.
bot lane from Empire. However, again, more damage coming in. Flash from Apazan going in, takes down Inti-Script, and is looking for potentially a little bit more here with that extra bonus range coming off of Infernum. Some heads-up plays coming in from MG Empire.
Yeah, and this was really overforced by them. They missed the first time the execution. They try and kill the Tam Kench, but it's a Tam Kench. He's going to survive a lot of time. And being able to survive that match, the Aphelios had the perfect combination of guns to just deal so much damage. And now he's going to get some free plates as well as a kill. Even though he expended his flash, it's okay. He can get so much gold now. And I think he can be the saving grace for this MG Empire team that needs so much of that right now after what happened with Tristana.
Absolutely, and yes, you can definitely burn that flash as a Apazan because you have Groomstone Savant as the Tom Kench able to pull you out of most fights, and very proactive play from Savage going in and grabbing that early Infernal Dragon. So only an 800, 900 gold lead here on the side of MG Tempest. However, the hidden gold comes in from that permanent buff of Infernal Dragon.
Yeah, and that gives as well some that is able to extend the time that MG Tempest has to try and win. Wait, Hikarim. Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
close lane that dash.
Oh, mid
However,
lane.
we've got MG Sloth jumping right back in on cooldown, forces the flash out of GBUT. Just
Yeah, that
continuing that
matchup
lane
is.
domination there. A good attempt from Savage though, since the Dark Passage is considered a dash, you can be pulled out of it if hit at the right time with that devastating charge.
Yeah, if he executed it better, I think Jinx is dead because he has ultimate. He can just run on top of her, even if she flashes, the ultimate instantly is able to follow and kill her. So it was a nice try, and he didn't have to expend anything really important, so it's okay. But going back into the Drake's point, I think this extends the time that MG Empire has, because now the soul is going to be even more delayed, which is something that MG Tempest could have looked for with the advantage that they had. So now it gives more time for the Aphelios, which is what you want to have, and Oriana can also try and get some more time for farming.
Yep, you definitely at this point are trying to play damage control here in the mid lane. Oriana has 72 stacks on a tier, a pair of biscuits, and an empty corrupting potion. So she is going to be basically doing negative damage for the next little bit, and already some invasion going on here from the side of MG Tempest. Really trying to establish some early vision, maybe setting up for this Rift Herald.
Yeah, and they can control anything. Like we were talking about, the Morgana is mostly just a push bar. She's going to lay the tainted soil, and she's going to be pushing, and that's it. The tormented shadow, she's going to just be using that and push the wave, and now give control to the Bolivar as well as the Tristana with the advantage. She can just push, and they are now stealing a red buff. Really
Yep,
well,
a little bit
really
of
good
damage
rotation
coming in
from
here, however, lands with the
them. Oh,
Oh my gosh, the ult comes in from Apazan, ends up landing enough. The flay is not enough to be able to help them on out, and red and white are always don't fight when you're against Nephilios, and utilizes it perfectly from the side of Apazan with all those chakrams, and manages to get the kill on Inti-Script.
yeah, and I think Jinx could have tried and done a little bit more. She even with the Tam Kench, I think she can deal enough damage. But now they're coming. Oh,
Oh, a great cleanse from the side of Groomstone Savant, and it's not going to be enough at all. Jinx ends up dead there, falls again to Apazan. Apazan's now 3-0, matching the 3-0 of MG Sloth.
yeah. So now we're going to see who is the better carry, the Tristana or the Aphelios.
Yep, definitely going to be a battle of the carries here. But I definitely think that Christian could have gotten himself out of there. He still had the heal, still had the flash, and he had the Jinx rocket. You could have
Yeah.
likely traded 1-for-1 there against Apazan, but chose not to utilize any of those cooldowns. And now we're getting that reset in. Apazan's going to be coming on back very, very strong, approaching either having a fully built Kraken Slayer or, yep, a fully built Kraken Slayer is the call from him. So he's just going to be putting out massive amounts of damage here.
Yeah, I think that will be really important, especially for the next Drake fight that is coming up in 1 minute almost. So they have now Shen ultimate, Hecarim ultimate, as well as Aphelios first item. So and his flash is coming up. So they may try and go for something really big right there, and that is one of the ways that they can come back into this game. Well, we said comeback bad. They are 500 gold ahead, but yeah, that is one of the ways that they have to win this game is by going for those plays and the Thresh.
Yep, and Savage coming on in here, grabbing the Onslaught of
She's dead.
Shadows. Jinx is just dead to the slaughter, pushing up way too far. You don't have any vision on that side of the map. Why are you stepping forward? Amazing heads-up play from the side of MG Empire, looking to strike hard and strike fast with
Yeah,
this
and
Hecarim.
it's not only the disrespect from the Vision, but I think it's the respect from the champions. They have a Tam Kench with ultimate, as well as a Hecarim that already tried and do that play. He missed by a little bit, but this time he didn't miss. And the ultimate follow-up was something that we thought he could do, and he did. And it's the kill for the Jinx.
Yep, and the continued dragon stacking will be on the plate here for MG Empire. Grabs himself that second dragon.
Why?
Groomstone Savant, you are not caught out, my friend. Inti Script, you are the one who is caught out. You are getting that lashing in from the Tom Kench. Trades out some damage, clears out some wards. Not much else to say here, but man, oh man, as big of the lead that you've got on this Tristana here, it seems even bigger on the side of Apaz and Aphelios.
Yeah, there's more than 2,000 gold difference between the Aphelios and the Jinx right now. It's it's not pretty.
Nope, it is not pretty. However, you also have the Gale Force on the side of MG Sloth's Tristana. And there's a flash on up for the Orianna. However, I presume that flash is going to get burned real fast.
Yeah, I think Tristana could try and also go for a play with a Bolivar around the map. Maybe try and go and kill the Aphelios because, yeah, Tam Kench is there, but... Oh, no, wait. Yeah.
Christian, what are you doing, man? You had the TK lined up for some free damage. You had the frog on a hook, and you just decided, I don't want to go shooting for fish.
Yeah, she just walked forward and almost take free damage from them instead. But yeah, Tristana can try and pull something. Oh, they're pulling the Herald mid. That's an okay play to put more gold into Tristana at least. Get something more from her. That is great. Get her to be closer to the Aphelios, and because Tristana can jump on top of the Aphelios as well and explode him. So that's another way to play the game. If Aphelios is ever in a bad position, Tristana can try and do that. But in the jungle,
Volibear trying to outsmite the Hecarim, but is not going to work. Has to utilize the Stormbringer to get himself away.
I think he won the blue. Yeah, I think Bolivar gets the blue. He gets the level up, so he's able to run away and steal a camp from the Hecarim. But Hecarim is on vision. He cannot try that. I don't think he's able to try and do that. Something there.
Yep, definitely a very aggressive play. Did happen to work on out. Good smite from the side of Kajima. And it looks like we might have a gank coming in here. Both junglers sitting down bottom. We're looking like for some spicy plays here. A little bit of a dance, though, and I don't think much else coming on. Big reminder that the top lane Shen can always come on down. That is a level 10 Shen, almost level 11. We'll have that stand united. And even if he can't join, that shield is going to be massive to help protect Apaz Aphelios.
Yeah, one consideration I forgot to mention is that Morgana can cancel the ultimate really easily with just the bind. So the Shen needs to be careful about his positioning when ulting, as well as TPing, because Morgana can cancel so easily. But yeah, mid.
Oof. Yep, and we do have MG Sloth again, just right away, right seeing the opportunity, jumps right into GBUT and forces that flash on out. No mana, gonna have to recall and then likely teleport right back into this lane.
That might be turret. Oh, but
if Flay comes in onto Aphelios, heal used from Christian to help save Inti Script from Inting. Heal actually used on Apaz.
Yeah, that was a waste.
Nice and healthy. Definitely think that was a wasted heal. A little bit of miscommunication between him and Groomstone Savant. However, all things considered, you're coming in and out trading summoners, so not necessarily the worst thing. And now you just get some free damage onto this tower, potentially taking first tower of the game.
No, Bolivar will be able. I think they can try and just first the turret. They have one of the best combinations of Gans for Aphelios to try and burst turrets. So I think they could have done that, but maybe they're afraid of the Bolivar or someone else coming down, which is okay. It's respectable. You don't need to throw away your lead right now. It's not necessary, especially Aphelios that is 4-0.
Yep, and if we even take a look at the minimap, we can see all the vision. There are 3 pink wards in the bottom side of the map, 2 of which are in the bottom lane. So for the side of MG Empire, they are saying we are building our Vision Empire here on the bottom side. We are putting our faith in 200 years of Aphelios, saying bring us the promised land, help us build our empire, and help us take down our sister. We don't like them.
Yeah, seems a good champion to put your faith on, at least.
Yep, definitely not the worst, and definitely
That is
potentially one
third.
of the best. Should be an easy first turret here, though. MG Sloth grabs that tower. Should be pretty easy. You do have Grimstone Savant coming on in. The hook does land. Does not blow the cleanse. Feels pretty confident being able to get away with that gray health. Grabbing that
Tristana,
first tower.
Tristana now needs to be careful. She doesn't have jump, so for at least 12 seconds. So an ultimate from Orianna can come on top of her with the Hecarim. Yeah, Hecarim is coming.
If Hecarim's coming on in, however, you do have Flash and you do
Oof.
have Ghost. Onslaught Shadows and
Oh,
Shockwave burned. However, the position there, you do have Kajima
counterplay.
jumping on in, though, utilizes the jump,
Is dead.
utilizes the Chem Tank, and third charge is in charge here for the Tristana. Jumps on in, MG Sloth does grab it, trading the turret in the bot lane, though. Apazin and Grimstone Savant grab that bottom turret. It looks like we might have another play on our hands here.
Oh,
Christian dodges
they're
the.
in a very bad position.
Yep, they are definitely going to be caught out here. However, Stand Unite is still available. Look for that as a potential
Oh,
stuff here. However, they managed to make their way on out. They are distracted by the dragon. MG Tempest says, hey, look, a giant lizard with wings. Let's kill it.
yeah. Now that I'm seeing that they're doing the dragon, okay, that's still a good play. They don't need to overforce for the Aphelios and the Tamkinch, even though it's a huge shutdown. They don't need to force. The Drake is a great price, and for mounted weight Tam.
Yep, however, Grimstone Savant is caught on out, forced to burn the Flash. Stand United coming on in, Aphelios ultimate coming on in.
Oh,
However, Creamy does end up coming on in, using the taunt, using the Stand United. They do land. All you're hooking is a cannon minion, my friend. Trading 1-for-1. However, I would definitely say a shutdown on your
yeah.
Fairy Fed Tristana going over to the Aphelios of Apazin. That is an extra 500 gold, so an 800 gold swing into Apazin's pocket. That's going to get him to his Hurricane or Phantom Dancer when he backs next.
Yeah, he's going to be a really fearsome champion. But I think overall, in the overall theme of the game, they got the 2 kills in mid lane from the Hecarim before and the Tamkin Shear, as well as a Drake. So I think overall that's still okay. And the Jinx was able to get some free farm in bot lane, so now she has her first item, which is the Kraken Slayer. That is really important power spec to have with the Jinx. And if she's given a little more time, she can become that hyper carry that we all expect her to be.
Yep, absolutely. However, definitely going to need some heal cut. If you are the side of MG Tempest here, you want some heal cut. You've got an Aphelios that's doing a lot of life stealing. You've got the Hecarim. You've got the Tom Kench. You've got the Shen. You want you want some heal cut. You need to get in early executioners, an early Bramble Vest if you are Thresh or Volibear here to really give yourself a chance at being able to beat Apozin's Aphelios. Good juke here from Christian. Dodges out the Q from Calibrum, however, already taken down to about a third of her health bar.
Oh,
Does manage to land the fillet, however, it's just going to end up resulting in, however, no. Kajima wants to jump on in and it says, nope, get me on out of here. Does force the consume out of Grimstone Savant, and immediately
okay.
Tristan is jumping right on in, wants to go for that fight, does take him down to about half HP, so pretty good trade overall.
Yeah, they're trying to overforce a little. I think it's not necessary to do anything, but the map is there's nothing really going on anywhere in the map. Bot lane is just pushing in. Top lane was just pushing waves. So this is a cute attempt to try and do something, but it won't amount to anything because it's a Tam Kench with cleanse. So it's almost irrelevant. Going back into the point of the heal cut, I think this is a game that Orianna can try and go for Putrefier because the Morello Nomicon is not so much great an item, and I think if you are able to give that heal code to the Aphelios via shield, it would be 1,000 times better than just trying to apply it yourself.
Yep, I definitely agree that Chemtrek Putrefier is a very strong item for the people that are able to provide shields to their team. So, great item. We got the Rift Herald popped here on the side of MG Empire in the mid lane, looking to crack this mid outer tower. Will be unlikely to do so on this exact play. What are you doing? Inti script, my friend, you are just inting. That is what you are doing now. 0-3, another fight breaking it out though. Devastating charge, Onslaught of Shadows utilized, and Stand United trades the support for two ultimate cooldowns, 3 ultimate cooldowns. Not necessarily the worst thing to have traded. You know, you're not necessarily doing a ton at the moment as the Thresh, so if you end up giving your life for a couple of those ults, especially the long cooldown of the Shen ult from Creamy. That's not the worst thing, because that ult will now not be up for the dragon fight here in 70 seconds.
Yeah, and especially I think the most important part is that he didn't die during the Drake timer, so he will be able to come back and fight for that. If it was closer to the Drake spawning, I think it would have been worse.
Absolutely agree. That could have been a heck of a lot worse. However, Christian might be... Never mind, he's not going to end up getting himself into a worse position because backing on off, moving correctly towards his team. However, we do have Dragon coming up here in 44 seconds, and there's not a single bit of vision on this bottom
Yeah.
side of the map by the Dragon for the side of MG Tempest. Instead, they are saying, we're gonna try to cheese this Baron. We're gonna try to look for it. However, I think MG Empire
Can
is
they?
gonna snuff them on out. They're gonna detect that they're coming on in here, and you've got a Hecarim running on in here, potentially stopped by the Morgana, and they might be looking to commit. They might be looking to keep going for this. Nope, they're backing on out. They're backing out. They're backing off, and a good attempt. I do give them credit for that.
Yeah, they still have 280 carries. We talked about this, that after 20 minutes they can try and force it, but they still don't have enough damage with the Jinx, I think, to try and force it so blindly, and they have no control in the bot side, so they should know that they only play for the Tempest is to go for the Baron right now.
And they're sitting on a ward right now, I don't think
Ouch.
they're aware that they're sitting on that ward right now. It's just going to be another play jumping in. Flash coming in from with the Orianna ball on top. Stormbringer comes on in. Onslaught of Shadows comes on in, and immediately Volibear is taken down. However, you're trading jungler for jungler. Everyone else is jumping on out 1-for-1, low health bars across the board, except for Creamy, who's going to be tanking up here onto the Baron. They're looking for that Baron play. Morgana is backing, does have teleport. El Totoro is jumping on in. Baron is down to about half HP. Remember, critically, neither team has a jungler. Morgana is looking to come on in, though. Man. Nice. Ends up getting it in. Jinx gets the reset. She's getting excited. Is she going to be able to follow up? Orianna is forced to flash on out. MG Sloth, what are you doing, my man? You're just coming on in. You were just inting, and another kill comes on in to El Toro. However, you do have another reset coming in from Jinx. A second reset, a third reset coming in here. Aphelios is caught out, and he is dead. And immediately, they could turn their eyes onto the Baron, or looking like most likely they're going on the Dragon. And we also have a disconnect, but also a reconnect. But man, oh man, what a play, what a tight game, and Dragon is their prize. Gets those Jinx resets critically back in there from potentially a couple devastating plays from El Toro and MG Sloth.
Yeah, what a interesting couple of events that go on. It went so it was a roller coaster. It went high, down, high for MG Tempest. They were about to throw the game in the Baron. Then they were able to take it back with the Super Mega Death Rocket kill, and then once again try and throw it with the jump from the Tristana into the Baron pit, dying. But crucially, Jinx gets the shutdown on the Aphelios, gets 3 kills. They get the second Mountain Drake. So now they're in prime position to try and continue getting the game further and further ahead for them. And now Jinx should be able to get another item, and now they can go back into the Baron with the 280 carries and try and burst it down.
Yeah, actually ended up getting all 4 kills of that fight. Got the Shen, the Orianna, the Aphelios, and the Tahm Kench.
Yeah,
so now sitting at 4-2, very close to her fan base. They're still sitting behind the gold and behind the curve against Deposit. However, definitely showing some signs of life here from MG Tempest.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting seeing this kind of plays go on, especially so unnecessarily for Empire, where they had the advantage going into that Baron. They pushed them away and tried to force the Baron because they seem to have the need to do it. When the Drake was already in the map, they could have just gone for the Drake, get the soul point, and then just rotate when Hecarim was back alive. But I think just trying to force that kind of play gave away unnecessary advantages to Tempest that never should have occurred.
Yep, and critically now 2 Mountain Drakes sitting on the side of MG Tempest. They want that Mountain Soul. If you want to be able to survive against all this damage, having that bonus shield and those bonus resistances will be so critical. Looks like a potential fight breaking on out here. However, just trading some blows, having some conversations, potentially, however, looking to jump on in on Savage. However, he's jumping on in. You've got the Aphelios ult jumping on in with Gravitum to slow, and immediately Volibear is just eliminated from the fight. Christian's trying to land a lot of damage on Jinx, being caught out. However, jumps on out thanks to the Dark Passage.
Yeah, must be fun being able to deal so much damage as Aphelios.
Yeah, 200 years, man. He hit 200 years real fast. 713, 3 items. Has the Infinity Edge. Has that bonus damage passage from the Infinity Edge. And the Infernum giving you that bonus range when you hit the target to spread is just so, so strong.
Yeah, and I think one thing we need to to look at right now, Bolivar went for Nashor's Tooth for some reason. Oh, Tristana,
Yep, Tristan jumping on in. However, did not
she's dead.
account for the fact that there is a stopwatch.
I
Check
hate
your
that item so
watches.
much.
Check your time. However,
Oh,
immediately
Hecarim.
you got
He's
Savage
dead.
caught on out.
He's dead.
So, and he does make it an out. And critically, you do have the Shen alt Stand United was burned as well. Great catch from Inti Script there, combined with El Torto's Dark Binding to set the Jinx now 5-2.
Yeah, now we have two hyper carries almost online equally, so it would be really fun to watch the next couple of fights if they're able to go 5v5. This will be fun watching the Jinx with items against Aphelios with items to see who's the superior 200-year champion.
Yep, I definitely still give the edge to Aphelios just based on his itemization. You have the Jinx going for
Yeah.
Quartz Dominic's Regard, which will be critical to use against Creamy Savage and Groomstone. But in a 1v1 duel, it's still going to be the 200 years of Aphelios, strictly from him having an Infinity Edge versus having that Lord Dominic's Regard.
Yeah. Yeah, that is an important differentiation right there. And also the one of the things we need to talk about is the kill that just happened with the Tristana, just jumping into the Oriana. And now Oriana has completed Sonjas, so the just jumping in and trying to kill her will not happen as commonly as it was happening before. So now Oriana at least has a little more leeway to play the game, and Tristana needs to be more careful with her jumps.
Yep, absolutely needs to be more careful. However, a good play that I think they should have been doing a while ago is put MG Sloth in the side lane that you still have an outer tower in, so you can tear right through it because it shouldn't take any time. You do have
Nice
Grimstone Savant caught on out, caught by a hook, caught by a trap, caught by a Dark Binding, and is taken down to a quarter HP, forced to burn both summoners here with 40 seconds left on before Dragon spawns. Will be able to recall and get back in time, plus always has the Abyssal Voyage as necessary, but critically does not have the Flash or Cleanse to use to help himself or help a teammate.
Yeah, and one important thing is now they're getting the vision bot side, but now it's Empire who are going for the Baron this time around.
Yep, you've got the pings onto Baron. However, you also have pings from Tempest saying, hey, we think that they're on this. No one's got any blue trinkets up, though, so they can't really see it. However, they're stepping on up to check, and they do see it. The Jinx Rocket does catch them on out, shows them what they're up to, but they still do have MG Sloth, though, sitting in by that dragon saying, we know you guys aren't going to take this. And Savage is really low, forcing out the Stand United, and we might still have a fight coming in here. Groomstone Savant caught out again, taken to about 20% HP, and look at what they're doing. They've got MG Sloth sitting bottom, grabbing that third Mountain Drake for free, and they've got the inside track now on mid lane.
Yeah, they have... Oh, wait. And there's the 200 years. Wow.
Morgana, you do remember that his turrets don't deactivate like a Heimerdinger's turrets, right? Hopefully she'll remember for next time, but they do get a free inner tower here, and Christian manages to make his way on out. However, Aphelios coming on in, doing a lot of damage, forcing the Stormbringer out of Kajima, and you've got a very, very speedy Hecarim coming on in here, combined with the Shockwave. The Shockwave misses, however, does not matter. You do still have all that damage coming in. The lash in from Creamy coming in to kill Christian, gets a 950 gold shutdown on Savage from Christian in a big, just absolute slaughter of a fight here from the side of MG Empire.
Yeah, huge mistake by Tempest to give away so much advantages knowing that they are against an Aphelios, especially. Like Morgana standing there in the turrets was so... Wait, Tristana?
Tris, what are you doing, my friend? What are you doing, my friend? You do not win that fight. Did not manage to get the reset off that she would need for the jump. Critically was taunted, and then the Shen W. That field blocks the damage, so it blocks the ability to auto. And you now have Shen teleporting on in, double TP from GT, GB, UT, and Creamy coming in here. Should be a very easy Baron here. I don't think they make it in time. You do have the Jinx Rock coming in, though, for a potential steal. Takes GBUT down to about 2/3. However, I don't think they stop this here unless there's a miracle.
Oh.
However, there might be a fight coming in here. El Toro does land a lot of damage. You do have MG Sloth in the backline,
Okay.
jumps in, jumps out. However, the damage might just be too great from the side of MG Empire. They do land the ult
Oh no,
now onto
Jinx! She's
Shockwave,
dead.
lands onto Jinx. Jinx is gone. Volibear is gone. Pazin uses both summoners to jump on in, and it looks like MG Sloth is probably going to be gone too.
Ouch. Yeah, what a couple of interesting plays again. So they go first. They try and go for the mid lane after all the Baron dance happened, and they already have complete control of what was going on in Baron. For some reason, Morgana tries to stop the back for Aphelios because why not, and dies from the so much damage coming from him, and that gives a lot of space for the Hecarim, for the Aphelios to come, for all the champions to just pile on top of MG Tempest and kill them instantly. It's something that shouldn't happen never, but being able to get that much advantage, they rotate to the Baron, and then they are able to get the Baron really easily, as well as a couple of kills. Jinx once again mispositions and dies instantly. That's something that cannot happen in the future. But still, this Baron doesn't need the end of the game yet, because in 2 minutes we have the Mountain Soul. That if MG Tempest is able to get that soul, I think they can fight really well against MG Empire. And if they're positioned correctly with their 280 carries, they can take down almost anyone in that team.
Yep, I absolutely agree. However, you already have a Pazin on now the Bloodthirster and the Plated Steel Cap, so he's going to be taking 12% less damage from auto attacks from Christian and MG Sloth, plus having that bonus shield. Super great items here from him, and still not a bit of heal cut on the side of MG Tempest, which I believe they just so critically need right now.
Yeah.
So it looks like we got a siege going on here in the bottom lane. Should be easy pickings. Those inner towers fall pretty quickly when you've got Baroned up minions and Calibrum on Aphelios. However, should be nothing beyond just this singular tower here before the dragon pops up in about 60 seconds. However, you've got Litters of Vision from MG Empire on the red side of MG Tempest leading to that dragon.
Yeah, as long as they don't lose inner turrets, I think it wouldn't matter a lot, and it won't
Kashima
seem
might
like
be
it
getting
will be
caught
there.
out here.
Oh no.
But El Toro does end up getting caught
Okay.
out, immediately blown up by these Shockwave Onslaught Shadows is used to try to re-engage
Oh wait,
on
Aphelios!
Kashima. However, Aphelios is taken down to less than 200 HP, but survives.
Oof.
Oh, great turnaround from Savage to block the Jinx Rod. That certainly would have spelled death for Apazin. And about 25 seconds until the dragon, Phil is going to heal right back on up. So much life steal, especially now that he has Severum. Just all the lifesteal from the red gun is so strong.
Yeah, sadly Tristana wasn't able to deal enough damage to kill him. If she's able to get one more auto attack from that, Aphelios is dead, and that fight it's over. Oh wait.
MG Sloth coming on in, managed to dodge the ult from Aphelios. However, it does not matter. You've got so much damage. However, he is shut down. MG Sloth does take him on down, but at what cost? At what cost will it be to manage to take down this Aphelios? You're trying to peel with the Jinx.
No.
However, taken on down, you cannot stop the devastating charge from Savage. He comes on in, and immediately all four of the 5 members of MG Tempest are taken down once again. All for the Aphelios. What did it cost you? It costed you everything except for the 0-3 Morgana.
Yeah, that should be at least an inhibitor, and they can try and push even further, but I don't think they will. But they have Shen. He has TP, so they can try and just go in. Let me try and end. I don't think they need to overforce like that, but they're going for it.
Yep, I don't think they should be looking to force the end. However, it looks like that might be what they want to do. A lot of damage, though. A lot of burn damage here from Morgana. Does flash on in. El Toro flashes on in, goes for it. Manages to stay alive just long enough. Pops the Zonias. Is looking for a potential disengage here. However, is taunted up by Creamy. A good attempt, though, and she does delay the game. She does save both those Nexus towers.
Yeah. That Super Mega Death Rocket going to nowhere. And
yep, just a swing and a miss.
Yeah,
probably didn't see whether or not they had anyone on the dragon at the time. So just fired it just to potentially grab it. Now you've got the dragon score even it up. The next dragon will be Mountain Soul for one of these 2 teams if we have another dragon. However, you also have Baron coming up in 60 seconds. and you got to clear out these mid lane waves. You got to get some wards down if you are the side of MG Tempest.
Yeah, but I think trying to force that fight was so unnecessary, especially knowing that the Drake was already spanning them up. If they take that down earlier, I think they can just force the game to go to that soul point even earlier, and then the Baron can go as well. But it's still okay. Nobody loses anything from that. This is just now the final Drake fight to decide who wins the game. I think the soul point, even more than the soul point, the fight will decide who wins the game, because if one ID carry survives from MG Tempest, they will be able to just force down the game. As well as if Aphelios is able to survive, the game is over. He's going to destroy those turrets. So I think it will be depending on the last team fight that is coming up. Oh, Tristana.
Sean looking in, she does get the reset in on her rocket jump, managed to take Creamy down to about 1/4 HP. Should be able to grab this tower pretty quickly. However, you do have the Baron popping up. And remember, MG Sloth does not have teleport. She cannot just join the fight if she wants to. She is dedicated to this split push. So they might be saying, okay, take the Baron. We are going to go ahead and we are going to try to take whatever we can of your base and maybe guess with the Jinx rocket.
They're going for that, I think. They're going to try and trade. And Shen
should be able to get the inhibitor off this.
Yeah. Shen has Stand United, so if he decides to leave... Oh! Bolívar dies.
They're critically taken on down, and great body blocking from Grunstone Savant to make sure that the Jinx Super Mega Death Rocket is not able to do anything if she jumps on it. However, you've got a lot of damage coming in. Grunstone Savant is taken on down. Jinx is getting excited, and you did trade inhibitors, so you do now have this bottom inhibitor going on down. Oh, such a close hook here. Shockwave being used. NT script. He is not going to int today. Very close to hitting a Poison. However, now you've got Baron up. Super minions pouring into the base here in a little bit from the side of MG Empire.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just a trade of 1-for-1 and the inhibitor, but for MG Tempest, but the Baron for MG Empire. We need to see who is going to try and utilize this better, because if Tristana once again tries and go for the split push, she can 1v1 the Shen, and if nobody is there to help, she can end the game alone. If MG Empire is not trying to end the game faster than her.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, you've got the bottom wave of super minions coming in on the side of MG Tempest when you have Dragon coming up in about 2.5 minutes. So that will be down. That inhibitor will still be down by the time they go for this Dragon. But the side of MG Tempest's inhibitor, their mid lane inhibitor, should be up before Dragon spawns.
Yeah. It's going to be it's going to be really exciting to see if we're able to get that one final fight for the 5 champions. For MG Tempest, it was so hard to kill the Aphelios, even though they got him alone against the 280 carries. He almost solo killed both of them. So we need to see how that can change in the next fight, especially with Jinx having her Infinity Edge right now, as well as the Tristana, so maybe that can change. But I think positioning and especially vision control will be the most crucial things in the next fights, and whoever has the upper hand in those areas, I think will be able to win the game off of that.
Yep, absolutely. Still somewhat confused as to why there's not been a single bit of heal cut built inside of MG Tempest, even just on the Volibear. Invest the 800 gold for Bramblevest, man. You're taking this Aphelios to the face all the time. Make him start to hurt when he attacks you.
Yeah,
but
he goes for the... He went for the Nesher's Tooth for some reason, and instead of going for something that can help him survive even more, I think it's kind of niche and maybe it's for fun, but I don't know if that's necessary.
Yep, I don't think it's necessarily the play. 60 seconds on the Dragon. You do have the mid lane inhibitors spawning soon. Gotta be a little careful here, though.
They got him.
You do have the Aphelios. You've got Savage caught on out. Stand United is used. Cleanse and Flash, once again, used by Groomstone Savant. Shen caught out again. However, I don't think Creamy is the target you want to land with that death sentence. However, you do have MG Sloth pushing down the mid lane, saying, okay, you guys want to come? You guys don't want to come? I'm going to push, and she's going to get inhibitor.
Yeah, Tristana can, not only inhibitor, if they take too long to get there, Tristana can get even more.
Yeah, they're sending one, they're sending two. They've got Orianna and Hecarim coming on back. However, Hecarim turns back on around. Kajima delays as much as possible. They're looking for a little bit more damage here, hoping that they can do something. But red and white are always don't fight, and this is why immediately blown up
Tristana
by Apazin. However, Tristana is on the base. She is killing Nexus Tower. She's jumping on in, going to try to do as much damage as possible. Shoots the Orianna out.
No, she's dead.
Tristana does grab the extra tower, though. Both inhibitor towers are down. Green Nipple drops on down as well. Savage is looking for the damage to try to kill off El Totoro. Manages to delay utilizing the Zonias. However, is not long for this world. Does take them down. However, you do have all Nexus towers down on the side of MG Empire. And
Just
two
21
inhibitors
seconds.
pressing on in. They will get the Mountain Soul as their prize
Yeah.
still, but that was actually, I think, probably one of the best plays they could have gotten at this point if you are MG Tempest, playing from about at the time, about a 5-6K deficit.
Yeah, and once again, I think if Bolivar was just a little bit more tanky, he could have survived longer and try and make the Tristana play even more reliable. But because he dies so quickly, even though Aphelios deals a lot of damage and we know what amount of damage he's able to deal, if he survives just a little longer, Jinx can also teach a lot of damage. And Tristana was almost able to be alone pushing against that Nexus. So maybe that could happen in the future, but now with the Mountain Soul, the MG Empire can just try and push forward and win the game if no one contests them.
Yep, those extra shields will be very critical. They do help with dealing with some of the almost assassin power you have from MG Sloth jumping in on the Tristana, sitting at full build 8, 6, and 1. Nothing to buy except for some empowerment pots here.
Look at Jinx.
And you now have Jinx. Yes, thank you. You got heal cut. I'm so proud. I'm an AD carry main. I'm so proud right now. Thank you for getting some heal cut. Now you might actually be able to burst through some of this healing that
Actually,
they've
look at
got.
Trist. Look at how she's moving.
Oh, Triss is sitting there. She's sitting for the cheese.
She knows that if no one is there, she can win the game
Oh,
alone.
she's looking to end.
She's going for it.
Going for the end. This is all bait. This is
No,
all
wait,
trap.
no, she's
Call
alone.
Admirable
It's
Akbar,
on.
everyone, because it is a trap. Tristana, MG Sloth is jumping
Oh,
on
no.
in, going for the end. And ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah,
we
good
have
job.
the back door here. MG Tempest
can't
coming
believe
back
it.
on in for that game one. The backdoor sneaky Yordle. Never underestimate the power of a Yordle here, ladies and gentlemen. And that is game one here coming in from MG Tempest, taking down the first game against their sister team of MG Empire. What a banger we had.
Yeah, it had a lot of emotion. A lot of little throws, a lot of huge kills, a lot of huge fights, and ending it with a not even base race, just a backdoor from the Tristana that was doing that 10 minutes ago. She was already just showing us what the game would end like being. So interesting way to end the game. I think Tristana had the correct idea. They were never winning 5v5 fights, even though they had 3 carries. The composition from MG Empire had better just engage, and the Morgana pick never really did anything outside of just being there for certain picks and certain shields. But apart from that, I think overall the game was interesting, but I think Empire had a little bit more idea of what they wanted to do with their composition, but they just came really short of actually being able to achieve the game. They were really close, and the Aphelios was really far ahead, but the Tristana going for the backdoor was really smart from MGStar, and I think he deserves the player of the game just for going for that kind of play so continuously and being able to at the end win the game for his team.
Yep, absolutely. I would actually say that I think that the Volibear was probably the most useless of the people on the side of MG Tempest, because while Morgana was maybe a weird and kind of odd pick, she did 34,000 damage to champions in that game. She did the highest on her team. The next highest in the game was Aphelios at 49,000 damage to champions. So
Yeah.
Morgana, while not necessarily impacting the game in a lot of ways, did land some key bindings and have some good shields. I don't think the AP Volibear is the answer.
Yeah.
So I think if you even just adjust your build, go for a little bit more of the tank, you have a lot of damage. You already have the damage built up from Jinx, Tristana, and now clearly the Morgana hitting at 34,000 damage. So just build pure tank, cover for your backline. But all in all, a great game, absolute banger coming on out here from both these sister teams. MG Tempest take game one. We're going to take a quick break here, but when we come on back, we're going to be into game two here of this best of 3 series. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hope you grabbed your popcorn, hope you cracked up a nice cold one because we've got ourselves a banger game 1 and coming in now to a banger game 2. MG Tempest ended up taking game 1 here. We'll get that visual fixed here. MG Tempest is up 1-0 onto MG Empire here. Bands coming through. We've got Seraphine, Vlad, Nar, and Diana, so matching the bands so far here
Yeah.
in game 1. Udyr coming out for the third band, so once again matching these bands here. TDS, how you feeling, man?
Please, Tristana. Tristana van this time. They are not taking any more chances with that.
Yep, taking the Tristana. However, they trade that for MG Tempest, now taking the Hecarim first pick as priority. So taking that pick off of Savage, seeing what he can do here with it.
Yeah, and as you said last game, the Volibear may have been a bigger liability than the Morgana, so maybe the Hecarim this time is more comfortable for him, and he can try and do more plays or just go in and be more of a menace than the Volibear. And MG Empire, okay, they answer with that Jinx. I don't think the AD carry was the problem so much, but Jinx is an all-around great hyper late AD carry to have, and I think it's just one of the AD carries that most AD carries like to play, I think. And the Volibear answer here for the Hecarim.
Yep, they are trading now. They are taking the Jinx. They are taking the Volibear. Aposson's Aphelios was a fantastic pick, but now we're going to see how he navigates the original teamfight AD carry here on the Jinx. Volibear too. We'll be interested to see what he goes in that. Volibear, Udyr,
Kaisa.
and Hecarim seem to be the good ones. Kaisa, another great pick here, another top tier pick, another S tier pick here on it.
Yeah, and Kaisa came down a little bit in the power, in the level of power that everyone had her before, but I think she's still a stable AD carry to play. She can pressure certain points in the map because of her ultimate, and she can provide a lot of damage to objectives because of her passive. So I think go with Leon, especially her passive will be able to deal more damage. And I think the Jinx, if they go for a Temkinch again, if they don't go for a Temkinch again, I think the Jinx will be able to be in so much trouble just from that lane alone. And the Iran answer, same as before.
Yep. The Kaisa Leona is definitely strong. I'm expecting MG Tempest to ban Thresh. Thresh is one of the best counters into Leona.
Yeah.
And a great thing to be able to catch the Kaisa or the Hecarim out. So I'm expecting them to throw those bans. The Karma ban, again, looking like it's coming on out. They really don't want to deal with that likely Karma top lane here. Alistar immediately the ban here. Alistar is also another great ban. I'm suspecting Alistar, Rel, or Thresh. Potentially the Tahm Kench. The Tahm Kench was frustrating, but I don't think the Tahm Kench necessarily was game-changing for me.
Yeah, I just think they need something in support that can protect the Jinx the same way that Tahm Kench was doing for the Aphelios. Something that will stop them from being able to reach her so easily. But I'm not sure if they're going to ban the Thresh or the Camille again, because they banned the Camille against MG Empire. Their top laner plays a lot of Camille, but Rel this time around, I think the Thresh would have been a better ban as well.
Yep, I think the Thresh personally would have been a better ban. However,
Morgana.
If you do have Savant as a really good Rel player, you definitely don't want that. Rel players, as if you caught the TSM series, Rel's strong, and if you've got a good Rel player like Core JJ, it is very strong. Morgana as the pick, most likely going into the bottom lane. However, last time it went top lane for MG Tempest, so they might be trying to play a little bit of a mirror match here, saying, hey, we're going to pick everything that you pick except for a Tristana, because we're going to ban it and pick the Orianna still instead. Galio, Camille coming on out. So Galio mid, Camille top. Galio is a great pick in my mind into the Orianna.
Yeah, he serves kind of the same purpose as Shogat in top lane, where he's a neutralizer. Almost any magic damage lane will be neutralized by him, and he just needs to be able to get his level 6 and move around the map with that ultimate. He's not a champion that will get you the flashy solo kills and all that, but he's the champion that will be able to make the mid lane just stable, be there, exist, and then rotate with really good ultimates, especially with a Camille that can pick the target to be the special one. We all know that combo Camille Galio from years before, and it's still useful right now, and a Hecarim as well that can just go in and ram into someone. But I'm interested in seeing the Morgana pick here as a support, because the Black Shield can be really effective to save the Jinx. It can try and save the Jinx a lot, or not even just save her, but be able to make her still be able to deal damage even if they focus on top of her.
Yeah, Black Shield definitely critical. Excited to see what they bring though in this bot lane. I personally, from my experience, Kai'Sa Leona should win this on the metric of if you're Leona, if you go in on one of on Morgana or Jinx, whoever she black shields, you just go and you kill the other. You land your Zenith Blade, you go into your Shield of Daybreak immediately on whoever is not being spell shielded, and they are very squishy in that bot lane. You land
Yeah.
that Kai'Sa Void passive, you burn percentage max HP missing from them. So the lower they are, the more that Void passive will hurt.
Yeah, that is true. But and that's also why the bot lane can be so this time around, because it's kind of a mini game where you try to play mind games on your opponent to see who can win that. If they can make the Leona go on top of the target with the Black Shield, then MG Empire as well then win. Because I think the Leona will be a more easy target to kill there. But if the Leona is able to make the Morgana shield the wrong person, then the person that, as you said, the person that doesn't have the shield dies instantly. So it's kind of, this time around it can be fun. And the last game I thought there wouldn't be any kills in bot lane, but they totally tore that reality apart for me. So maybe this time around we're going to see action again in bot lane, and it will be hyped to see.
Oh yeah, absolutely will be pretty hyped to see here. Excited to see what comes on out now that you've got a lot of new picks here coming in. The only two picks that are the same for the same people are the Orianna and the Shen on the side of GBUT and Creamy. So everything else here is a new pick for these players in the series. We're seeing once again repeats of the Hecarim and the Volibear, but flipping on that. And you also have the Morgana and the Jinx. But a lot of different looks here. We're going to see if letting that Camille through for El Torito will be worth it, because if this guy's a good Camille player, Camille is a terror in the side lanes here. Probably not as much of a terror right now as York is, because York is just the premier top lane on this patch right now. If you're in solo queue, you play York.
Force.
Oh yeah, Trinity Force buffs have been insane. Dude, Camille also could go with the Trinity Force here. I'm expecting
she
Divine
can take advantage of that.
Or even Stridebreaker potentially for her, but I could definitely also see her going with the Trinity Force if she wants to really go for maximum amounts of split pushage.
I think she should go for Trinity Force this game around, because as we talked, the split push, but I think she will have more impact in the side lane, especially with a Galio that can impact any lane at any point. I think the best choice for her is to go for Trinity Force, and it also is able to deal a lot of damage to the Jinx. She's a squishy champion. Even though she has protection in the Orianna, the Shen, and the Morgana, if you're able to get on top of her with your Camille, she doesn't deal any magic damage. So forget about using your Black Shield to protect her. She will be able to just pop her instantly. And I think the Trinity Force would be the best choice at this game. Overall, I really don't like Divine Sunder a lot. It's not. I don't think it's a really useful item. Obviously, there's people that have been really against that item since the beginning, but I am as well with that. It doesn't serve a lot of purpose, and I think Trinity Force right now it's better for Camilo. But we will need to see how he decides to itemize.
Yep, definitely will be interesting to see some of the itemization here. Getting ready to load on out here. We've of course got our 2.5, 3 minute delay coming in here, so nothing too crazy, but definitely I think that, I think we're in for an even more spicy game than we are last time. I think that it's going to swing heavily one way or the other, because these teams don't want to sit on their hands and do nothing. You've got the level 6 combo of Camille Galio. Heck, you've got that combination with a Leona and a Kai'Sa. If they pick a team fight, if the side of MG Tempest picks a team fight that they want to pick, somebody dies.
Yeah.
Without question, because of just the lockdown that they will have. And as long as they can keep Christian alive on this Kai'Sa, they have so much CC to set up the Void passives and so much peel for this Kai'Sa. I don't think the Jinx, the Shen, the Volibear, or the Orianna are going to be able to get to her to kill her.
No, she would most likely go to them because of how the composition works. But it will be how she's going. If she goes in without any follow up or into bad bad engages, then she can instantly die and be a liability for her team. But if her team is able to properly set up the engages so that she's able to come as a third or as a second or third champion in behind them, then she will be able to deal a lot of damage to Jinx, to Orianna, and instantly eliminate those champions with the CC and support for her team.
Oh yeah, gonna definitely have to see about what these teams are able to do. So, place your bets, take your wagers, support your team in chat. Who do you want? Do you want a game 3, or are you thinking that MG Tempest are going to close this one on out? I'm going to also throw it over to you, my good friend here. What are you thinking, TDS, on this? Who do you think takes game 2 here?
It would be I think it's obviously dependent on how you play the game and all that, but I think maybe the way that they lost the last game may have impacted their mental a lot, and that is always something to be worried about in when you try and play a second game. Just how much can you move up from the last game, especially how it ended when you were in such a commanding position to win the game, and something so random as a Tristana backdoor win you make you lose the game. So maybe that can have an impact, but I think, and this is just I would love a game 3, but I think MG Tempest will close it out 2-0. I think it will be 2-0 this time around.
Yep, I am in agreement with you. If we were playing this or that, we would both be on the same side of that coin. I'm going with this. I think that just the team fight composition that they've got lined up on the side of MG Tempest is just salivating to me as the Kai's player. So we're going to take it to a break. When we come on back, we will be going into game 2 here of MG Tempest versus MG Empire. All right, everyone, welcome on back here. Game 2 here. MG Tempest on the blue side, MG Empire on the red side. Looks like we might not be getting any cheesy ganks starting off this game. A nice, good 5-point startup here. How are we doing, TDS? We ready for game 2?
Yeah, hopefully some great banger of a game as well as game 1. Although with less of the randomness. Oh, we have a pause. Okay.
Yep, we do have a pause here. It looks like they're looking for the R, so might be unpausing here really quick.
Yeah. Hope this game is less of randomness and more team fights that are not, I wouldn't say well executed, but at least team fights that are well fought, to say the least. Especially with two compositions that want a 5v5.
Oh yeah, definitely going to be a lot of fights going on here, a lot of team fights, a lot of blood, I hope, because we have bangers only here on Style Esports, and it was, if you did not catch game 1, it was an absolute banger, and I'm hoping for an even bigger banger here in game number 2.
So this time around we're having a base race or something like that.
Hoping for a base race. I'm hoping for elder fights. I want baron fights. I want everything plus the kitchen sink. Throw in a 6-pack of your favorite drink as well, because that's what I want. I want ourselves to have a party.
Yeah, that's what we want. I don't think either MG team wants that.
Perhaps they do, especially I guess if you're MG Tempest, you probably want that. Get the 2-0, get the bragging rights. The fun stuff here.
Yeah, be the better team of the two sister teams.
Yep, but we've got Big Sister versus Little Sister here in terms of the ELO, 100 ELO separating them. However, we got ourselves some standard battle lines drawn here. Nothing too crazy going on, nothing too hectic going on here. But that's just how this early game is likely going to pan on out. It's not going to be until these champions hit levels 2 and 3 that we're going to be seeing some engages here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's mostly the normal thing. Even in the last game, it took a little of time before something actually happened after the first kill on Tristana. So it's mostly going to be a standard, especially this time around when nothing happened in animate. But Camille is going on top of the Shen, so maybe.
Yep, trading a little bit there just to help zone him off that wave is going to force him to lose a couple of these minions potentially. Not zoning off the EXP though, the wave's not far enough out for him to zone on that. You've got bot lane pushing on in, a couple of wards going down. However, you've got
Kerm is
Karjima
going mid.
looking for a potential gank here in the mid lane.
Yeah, but the setup with the Galio, it's okay. So he can raid.
Yep, Christian
Raid
caught on
stun.
out with the Dark Binding and the Jinx Traps. However, is stun locking up Hazen, and
She's
Leona
dead.
gets that first blood. Flashing in though from Christian, trying to help out. However, Inti Script says, nope, I'm going on in. Flashes though from Inti Script, misses the Zenith Blade though. So trading 3 summoners for 1 summoner, but first blood on the side of MG Tempest.
Yeah, and the only way that is way worse is if the Kai'Sa is able to get that kill. It was looking really great for the Aposen and Groomstone, getting the early level 2, they get the stun on top of the Kai'Sa, they get the CC chain, and the shield is able to protect her from some damage, but she overextends. She goes forward without needing to go so far forward, and the Leona is able to deal so much damage. She's a champion support that deals a ton of damage level 1, 2, and 3, and most of the time people don't expect that, but she is able to deal a lot, and with Ignite she's able to take the kill.
Oh yeah, definitely. And also a forced early TP here from GBUT, that Orianna having to blow her teleport early. Looks like she got zoned out here, but wanted to get that back in. Got the boots. Got a tier and some boots. However, taunt coming in from Creamy, doing a little bit of damage here on El Torito. However, not a lot. The passive shield does help the Camille stay pretty well topped off. However, Camille's jumping back on in though, looking for some trades back, saying, I will fight you as well. We both want those grass procs.
Yeah, looking at the items from Camille, she took a cheater recall, we can see, because she has the call. So she has the extra power as well as the extra gold coming from that, and that may be important later on if she's able to get to her items faster.
Yep, that good cheater recall pushed out the first 3 waves, forced the Shen off, got the recall, didn't even have to blow teleport, ran herself back into lane, and is now matching the CS, plus getting a little bit more gold with each stack that she gets on that call up to 100.
Yeah. And now we can see if Shen is going to TP. No, Shen seems to be going back to at foot in lane. So now maybe we get a sort of trade when each of the top laners just push the wave and back without wasting TP, which can happen. I don't think it will happen. Oh, mid.
Yep, a little bit of a skirmish going on in the mid lane here. MG Sloth looking like he might be caught out, however, does get to walk away. Savage does not want to roam that deep in the jungle, does place a war on down. However, he might be getting caught out now from the side of MG Sloth.
Whoa.
Misses the heroic charge, though. However, you do have the devastating charge coming in, forcing Flash out of Savage. You've got Karjima coming in, getting the kill, blowing the ghost, and they might even look for a dragon here if they'd like to. They don't have any vision set up, however, with Volibear being down, being flashless, and you still having priority in the bot lane, looks like Dragon will be their prize.
Yeah, and Bolivar is overstepping a little too much. He respected the fact that the Galio was going in too deep into the jungle.
Brimstone Savant being caught out though, being burned through with the Ignite, forced the flash on out, manages to barely get himself on out of there. Great combinations from Christian and Inti Script here. And
And a lot
Kajima
of
does go
disrespect.
and grab that first dragon. Cloud Soul, well, Cloud Drake coming on in, so no Cloud Soul. However, that ultimate cooldown reduction, certainly something that everyone on the side of MGT is really going to like.
Yeah, imagine running a teamfight composition that depends on ultimates and having ultimate cool. That sounds so good.
If the only thing better
But
for them on that case would have been if they had a Cloud Soul, but unfortunately, with it being the first dragon, we know
yeah,
the rules of the game. That will not be a Cloud Soul, nor will it be an Infernal Soul. So we're looking at either a second Mountain Soul game or the always fun Ocean Soul.
yeah, and funnily enough, this would have been a great game for Cloud Soul, but obviously RNG gods decide other things. We can just see. But going into the playing bot lane from taking the Drake, I think really disrespectful from Groomstone, knowing that they were three over there without any vision and just walking on top of them. She has to blow her flash, and I think next time they can just try and force on top of her and kill her. Even with exhaust, I think she can die from these two champions.
Yep, absolutely. It's one of those things where it's you step up and you throw a Dark Binding. What does that really gain you, if anything? And you have to kind of weigh the
Yeah.
pros and cons of that. And in 9 out of 10 cases, blowing that cooldown doesn't get you anything positive, and the risks of them engaging on you are also so extremely high. So just note to all the players out there, just be aware of what your cooldowns are and why you're using them, or if you're going to use them, basically understand why you're doing what you're doing. Ask yourself the question as you play when you make a misplay. Okay, why did I do that? Why did I do this? And it might help you really climb up in the ELO ladder. However, it looks like we got a little bit of some posturing here in the bottom lane. They are looking like they want to go for a fight. They know that Groomstone does not have her flash, and we've got some pings coming down here. Critically, though, level 7 on the Shen. Creamy does have that Stand United to join the fight if necessary.
Yeah, but I don't think from the side of MG Tempest, they don't need to try and force anything yet. They can go in when Hecarim has he has his level 6 now, so they may try and push the wave and go with the Oh wait,
MG
Hecarim?
Sloth jumping on in does utilize the charge plus the taunt, gets a good chunk of damage onto GBUT, forcing him to recall. Doesn't want to stick around, likely looking for that back for Lost Chapter. Does end up getting that. A trade here between El Torto and Creamy just resulted in some HP trading back and forth, and just some very tempered aggression. But I think it's just right now it's just the pressure's building. The pressure's building inside the tank, and it's just going to explode into a massive team fight here soon.
Yeah, and that's what we hope to see. That's what you hope to achieve with a composition that has a Galio, a Camille, and a Hecarim all in the same inside.
Yep, another taunt here onto El Torto, but just doesn't really take a lot of damage. Pushes out the
Oh.
wave, is going to look for a recall here, and just comes back. Already has the Sheen. Is going to be looking to potentially build into that Triforce. Junglers getting their second round of buffs set in here, and it looks like we've got some posturing here from MG Empire onto this dragon. Sorry, onto the Rift
Yeah.
Herald.
And that's a place that they can force fights on with the Galio, with the Hecarim, and the Camille. I think right now those are the three champions that can try and just pile ultimates over. And maybe if the Leona rotates as well, they can try and do a lot of damage with that. But I don't think it's a play that you need to pull out. You don't need to accelerate the game so much. Your composition is not like it instantly falls over if you don't get a 1,000, 2,000 gold lead by 10 minutes. But it's something that most of the teams like to do just to get that sense of getting an advantage just because.
Yeah, absolutely. Just right now, it's on the side of both these teams. It's kind of the handshake of what we thought was going to be the handshake last game of, hey, let's just farm up. Let's kind of get ourselves to some good, healthy points, and then we will look for a fight. Definitely a lot more explosive early game last time, but it looks like we might have ourselves potential gank coming in here. However, Leona just backed, so leaving Christian all alone, forcing her to fend for herself versus
She's
two.
low.
However, the taunt lands onto GBUT. She wants to keep going for that fight. Stand United comes on in. Shockwave is utilized onto Karjima. You got the charge coming in here from MG Sloth. However, it's just going to be a trade now, a trade of kills. Will Savage go for the dive? Will he go to disable the tower? However, he does not. Trading 1-for-1, trading ultimates. Not trading. The only summoner, though, was the summoner lost onto MG Sloth. However, now you've got Camille being able to set up a freeze in the top lane.
Yeah, and most importantly, she has TP, so she can join the fight if something happens, bot lane. But the Drake is close to spawning, and okay, TP from Galio.
Yep, MG Sloth TPing back into lane. Coming back now pretty strong. Going an interesting build. I've not seen the Galio go with the more supportive build, likely going for that Imperial Mandate.
Or what is it called? Isn't that also the build for? Yeah, that's Shrelia.
Aurelia's. So,
Yeah.
thank you, production. Aurelia's is likely the build here, but another fight jumping on out here.
Oh,
You've got all
nice.
left and right teleport coming in from El Totoro. And Kajima does go down. Trading support for jungle is usually worth the team that got the jungler.
Oh,
PBT forced to flash on out after taking the Zenith Blade to the face. And now we're back at a standstill, clearing out some vision, and Dragon, second Dragon is up. So it looks like MGT is the first of the punch here, looking to set up and establish and clear out vision here for this Infernal Dragon, looking to get that Dragon second going early.
yeah, they're waiting for the Hecarim to come back. They will force that Drake because Camille already used her TP to just go there and try and force something, so they need to be everyone close to get the Drake. But I think MG Empire will just give it up. They realize that the Iran is not close. The Shin can TP, but I don't think it will be as useful. And now they have two Drakes advantage. They are closer to So with a composition that wants to fight around objectives. And the So will be an ocean, so
Yep, we've got ourselves an Ocean Soul, and we're starting to see, just even from just a pressure standpoint, this Camille from El Totoro, like why they wanted to get rid of it up 20 CS across from Creamy, which includes when she was teleporting on down. Yes, Creamy also teleported on down, utilized the Stand United, but just getting that strict lane advantage, getting herself so close now to her mythic item. 10 stacks left on the call, and a potential dive here onto Inti Script. Good thing he actually missed that though onto a pausing, because I think if he jumps in on that, you might be looking for a little bit of death. However, you
they
now
have the
have
Galio.
Hecarim and Galio coming on in, looking for the fight. Flash coming in from
There he
Apazin,
goes.
goes for the jump. Managed to get the stopwatch on
Oh.
Groomstone Savant. You've got Creamy teleporting on in. MG Sloth is taken on down. Anti-Script is close to follow, is going to follow, gets the resets, gets excited on Apazin. However, Apazin is
He got it.
going to get hit up and is going to actually still take
Oh.
down Kajima, thanks to the Stand United, the shield keeping him alive. Kill onto
Yeah.
the Jinx and a dive here. Coming in onto Christian, he's got nowhere that he can go. Should have just ran a couple towers back and is going to die. Solo kill to Savage.
Oh no. And they get the plates on bot lane for the Jinx, as well as the kill that she got. The plates in mid lane for Oriana, I think she got 3 alone. Almost 4 lanes, 4 plates alone. But the Camille is getting plates as well alone, so maybe that's an okay advantage to give.
Yeah, Camille
She got
just
the first turret, okay.
barely getting first tower. Turret plates had just
Yeah.
fallen. Got it by a second and a half there. Trading off
Oh,
for
Diona.
those objectives. And it looks like GWT might be getting caught out here. However, Savage is there to back her up. MG Sloth looking to go in, though, on Savage. Does end up landing the combination. Shockwave
Ooh,
comes
nice.
on in from Savage, forcing the Stormbringer to come on out. Fighting over the Scuttle Crab, who knew that the little mini Rift Herald would be so fun to fight over. However, that Rift Herald is now going to go over to Kajima.
Yeah. Some really interesting fights that happened. The fight in the bot lane where they tried to pile on top of the Jinx. I think it was really just obvious for MG Tempest, MG Empire, that they were going to try and do something with the Galio and the Hecarim, because Galio was away from his lane for so long that they were able to call that away from miles away. So it was really telegraphed, and I think it didn't serve its purpose. And the Oriana never needed to come. The Bolivar arrived late, and still in a 3v4, they lost so much just because of trying to overforce that kind of play. And that's what we meant before when we said that if executed correctly, it's a death ball and it can kill a lot of people. But if wrong, then they just give away so much advantages and are going to die without any meaning.
Yep, and so far has been executed pretty well, keeping Apazin alive, getting the Jinx to the Kraken Slayer first, and the Zonia's on the Morgana. El Totoro is jumping on in, though, but might be biting off more than she can
Yeah.
chew.
Ooh.
And she gets bit by the bear. You've also got Kajima taken down by the Jinx, killed up by the traps. Inti Script goes down to GBUT, and it looks like it's just going to be An absolute slaughter here. MG Sloth is now going to be caught out, forced to flash on out of the fight, and just absolute disaster. 3 for 0 across top and bottom lane for the side of MGT. And now Savage is going to go and take that second Rift Herald, and Apazin is going to take this mid outer tower.
Yeah, once again, badly executed. The Camille is alone on top side. For some reason she's behind one level to the Shen, so her ultimate is obviously going to be weaker. But she's also weaker as a champion, and she doesn't respect the fact that she doesn't have any vision. So the Bolivar she went in blindly without knowing where the Bolivar was, and she just dies instantly. Even though she's
MG
able to deal
Sloth
with the
does
speed
stop
push. Oh,
Savage from recalling, though, forcing the flash
maybe she
out
can kill
of the
him.
Volibear. A few seconds from having Stormbringer, he likely would have preferred to
Oof.
blow that instead. But now you do have the opportunity, if you are MG Tempest, to at least get maybe a little bit of siege and some damage on this mid-outer tower.
Or just control the Drake, the area Drake. It's 30 seconds for Drake, so that's something that they want as well. And they have almost all their cooldowns for the fight, which is something that they want to have. They need the Camille ultimate, which is close, as well as the Camille TP, the Galio ultimate, and the Hecarim ultimate.
Yep, you've got ultimates
20
that are
seconds away.
coming up for everyone here. However, you also have the ultimate from the Shen, the Stand United, Dark Binding, and Zap do miss. So a lot of posturing here. Shen is coming on down, though, looking to potentially get a flank. Also, you've got the Rift Herald now spawned
Used on
from
bot lane.
Savage, so they're just going to send that bottom. They're
I think they're
giving up
giving
this
up.
dragon, saying, we don't want it. We'll let you grab this dragon. We're going to try to go for this mid outer tower, but it's just going to be a trap. They're going to get caught on out here. Anti-Stripped is caught
Great
out.
banding.
Kajima's is caught out. However, Apazin is taken in and shut down thanks to that CC combination. Savage is looking to go on in. You do have this Kaisa still doing damage in the back line, trying to burn through Creamy. Kaisa does shut on down Savage, taking down, and she also gets the double kill, taking on Creamy. It is now 3 versus 2. So Savage is taken low, is like going to be burned down. Third kill goes in, fourth kill onto the Camille, and a double kill onto Camille. Unnecessary flash from Christian on the Kaisa, but they do grab a tower as their prize. Watch out for that Jinx Super Mega Death Rocket, though. She might go for it.
She hasn't done it
yet.
yet.
And she's firing.
Missed.
She survives with less than 100 HP.
25. Exactly.
Oh. Feels bad, man, but when you're rocking that Jackie Love skin, you want to try to get on out, feel good. Kaisa now recalling is very close to building into that collector. Grabs the Kraken Slayer, has a serrated Dirk, is getting very close to being matching or a little bit ahead in gold to this Jinx.
Yeah, so recapping on the fight, they go for giving up the Drake and trying to take the turret, which they are behind that play. They gave up the Drake without almost achieving anything in the turret. But this time around, this is how we know that the composition is good.
Oh, and Apozin's getting caught on out right now. Gets absolutely devastated. However, you burn the Leona ultimate, but the devastating charge pushes her on out, and it's just going to be an int from Kajima. Just, oh man, absolute disaster strikes, and now there's a re-engage by MG Empire coming on in, looking for the kill. Anti-script, he is following the script right now. He is doing the ints as he was. You've got Camille on the bottom side though, grabbing that bottom outer tower, and you've got Christian pushing in the mid lane, potentially looking for some tower damage there.
Yeah, he's not going to get a turret, but he's going to get some damage at least. And this time around, so before in the Drake fight, that's how you execute the composition correctly and go for that fight. You get the fight perfectly on the Jinx, and the Jinx instantly dies. That's how every fight needs to go for them to win it, because if the cooldowns are expanded and they don't kill the Jinx, like how it happened with the Leona on top side, then it just gets turned around and they are not able to compete again. So it was a good showing of how the composition needs to go and how it shouldn't go. But in regard to the playbot side, really well from the Camille to take the trade. She's really strong right now with the Trinity Force as well as with the Titanic Hydra. So she should be able to fight the Shen really easily, and she's one level ahead right now. So she's almost more than 50 CS ahead of the Shen. Okay, now it's less than 50 CS, but still, she's really ahead.
Yep, right now the game plan needs to be that you are letting this Camille split push the enemy team to death. She should always be able to beat the Shen in the 1v1 just from her strict power levels. And we will see what they've got coming up here. A lot of people fitting some pings around Baron. You do have Dragon in 90 seconds, so this would again put
Yeah,
MGT on Soul Point or tie it up 2-2 Dragons with double Ocean Dragon on the side of MG Empire.
and they don't need to force anything. They can just wait for the Drake to come up and then just go for your composition's purpose and fight that Drake. That's the best way to fight. Oh, Camille almost.
Yep, almost stopped that Shen back, but not quite on time to stop that. So again, everyone's kind of like just going back to just getting the wards pinging up here. We are sitting right now at about 21:35 here. We've got Dragon coming up in 54 seconds. Very, very close fight. Very, very close sets of fights so far, and only 900 gold separates these two teams.
Yeah, and one of the things I think Tempest needs to do right now is let Karijima get to his level 11. That's a really big impactful ultimate to have and at a second point. And they should give him some farm somewhere in the map so that he can get that level up. They're going for clearing wards. And one thing I forgot to mention was that they don't have any vision bot side. They have one ward inside of the jungle, but the rest is completely blind.
Yeah, but by clearing out all those pink wards, they are forcing MG Empire to respond by getting some vision down. This does give MG Tempest a little bit of an inside track onto Dragon, but they don't know that they are sitting on some vision. They've got some wards that are popping up right now. They need to be looking to clear those on out. Do get one of the wards cleared on out. However, again, they've got inside track on the mid lane, though. They can just choose to say, okay, take the Dragon, get to Soul Point. We will take potentially a lot of your base. Dragon down to about 2,500. Stopping Savage, jumping on in. Hecarim does secure the Dragon, but at what cost will it be? You've got Karijima jumping in with the ult. However, you've got Jinx staying still alive. Aposin, a great shockwave coming in from GBUT, and Aposin is untouched in the back line. It is a 3-4-0. You got the Dragon, but it's going to cost you. And the fees, a Baron and an inner tower.
Yeah, and that was badly fight. The Hecarim is the first one to go in without the Gali ultimate, and the Camille was stopped greatly by a Morgana Vine, so she isn't able to deal as much at the start with the Hecarim going in before and dying alone. So thank God for them that they got the Ocean Drake to get close to Soul, because if not, that could have been such a bad trade. They would lose 3 members, the Drake and the Baron right now.
Yep, right now all they're going to get is some scraps in the bottom side. We'll get most of the bottom side jungle, so grabbing at least that blue buff, denying that away from GBUT and the Gromp as well. But yeah, still very much playing from the back foot, down now just over 4,000 gold. If you're the side of MG Tempest, MG Empire find themselves firmly in the driver's seat when it comes to these team fights, with being able to navigate them.
Yeah, and something interesting is that once again this time around, MG Empire plays around a lot of around Aposin, so he's able to deal a lot of damage, stay in the correct position most of the time, and he won't die. His team plays really well around him, and I think when they are not able to explode him, kill him instantly, do what your composition is supposed to do, Aposin is able to deal so much straight damage in return that the Jinx just comes off as a great value pick for him, like the Aphelis did last game.
Yep, definitely a lot of threat coming in on this Jinx, now sitting at 2.5 items. However, you got a fight going on. El Totoro is fighting in the top lane, trying to do as much damage to Creamy as possible. But the mid-inner tower is going on down. They might be looking for a little bit more siege. They don't have a lot of range. The only ranged champion on the side of MGT is the Kai'Sa. You do have the Galio Winds of War that do help out with some of that wave clear, but not a lot.
Yeah, and I think they can even leave the inhibitor, even though nobody likes to give the inhibitor up. I think with how your composition works and how they try to siege, giving up the inhibitor mid lane is the least dangerous inhibitor to give up. It's the center of the map, so you will just naturally go there.
Kazma's coming on in though, wants to go for it, gets the flash onto Groomstone Savant, however lands with the Dark Binding. You've got teleports, you've got flashes, you've got ults, and you've got a Morgana who's down. However, the Jinx again is still in the back line. untouched. Savage is going on down. Jinx flashes on out,
Oh,
sitting so low, but is just saying, so I am a Jinx, and I am sitting on a pentakill
yeah.
from a Pozen.
Oof.
Stays in the backline, stays alive thanks to the help of Creamy, of GBUT, and is just running this down. Easily an inhibitor for them for them in mid lane, but what a fight from MGE.
Yeah, right there, opposite showing what he needs to go with the hyper carries. They try and force on top of the Morgana. For some reason, they throw everything on top of the Morgana that has a Sunjazz. She doesn't die, and then Jinx gets even though she got taunted by the Galio, she got a little bit of damage from the Camille. Nobody's able to touch her, and I
Yep, they
think the
might be
Kai'Sa
biting off a
was
little
never
bit more
close
than
to
they
her.
can chew, though. If they are not able to finish the game here, though, they might just end up dead. Aposin is stunned up
Oh,
by the Leona Solar Flare and shut
nice jump.
down 1,000 gold onto MG Sloth. And you've got Dragon spawning in just over a minute. Yes, the base is broken, but you don't have the ability to backdoor as much as you would has Tempest had last game with the Tristana, but what a play, potentially game ending. However, some heads up plays and the respawn timers doing some favors for the side of MG Tempest, keeping this game alive.
Yeah, but can that be enough? I think the Jinx right now is such a menace that even though they get that trade, that kill, she's back again for the Drake fight, and she can just once again run it down and kill everyone. I don't think it will matter a lot. But
Yeah,
still,
G
it's a great pick from Tempest to have. The shutdown is still valuable, and it's something that they can try and execute once again in the next fight.
Yep, Kaisa now sitting on 3 items. Kraken Slayer, Collector, and Phantom Dancer, so we'll be able to start to dish out some more of that damage. Savage looking for an in here. Is just going to trade off a little bit of damage here. Dark Binding misses. Good
He
juke
doesn't
by
have flash.
Kajima.
Okay. I think one of the things we haven't talked as much with the Kaisa is that she almost never follows the ooh. Okay, he has TP.
Oh,
Oh
still
wait,
taken down to the splash damage
yep.
from the Super Mega Death Rocket does take him down. Kajima, I think at this point you get this dragon. You do not need to fight with this dragon. However, they say that they do, and it's gonna cost them
The game.
everything. You don't need to fight for this dragon. It's not sole point for you guys yet. Defend your base, defend your honor. But all they're gonna be doing is,
He's dying.
yep, defending themselves in the grave. The Jinx has the Kaisa has
Kaisa.
left the game. It looks like our game's kind of frozen up here. We will get a little bit of an update as we are able to find it. But if I had to take a very, very bold prediction here, I'm going to guess that we're going
It's
to game 3 here.
yep.
It was an
Okay.
FF vote,
But
so Big Sister says, you know what? Let's go to game 3. And that's what we've got. We've got MG Empire evening up the score here now, sitting at 1-1. A absolutely positively popping on off. That's right, my puns are just as good as David Freak Turley's, if not better. Trust me, I'm an engineer. But we are going to take a break here, though. We'll see you guys back here, though, for game 3, MG Tempest versus MG Empire. So don't go anywhere. All right, everyone. We had a banger in game 1. We had a banger in game 2, and let's see if we can make 3 games a banger here. I'm Basket Knives, joined by TDS here. MG Tempest versus MG Empire. MG Empire took down their older sister team, MG Tempest, in game 2, and now we are going to a game 3. We've got Seraphine, Udyr, Vladimir, Tristana, and Diana as the bans so far.
And same bans as last time. Nothing really much changed. Wait, Diego is available?
I did not think Viego was available in competitive at the moment, but
yeah, that's kind of surprising.
We'll get a little bit of some rulings here from the admin level of that, but right now that Viego seems to be the pick.
Yeah, and it's one pick that I've seen from Tempest that they can flex for jungle and mid, so if it goes through, it's interesting. And the Karma finally being picked by Empire. They were banning it, but now they picked it up. It can be a flex pick for 3 different lanes, and the Jinx once again for Aposen, which was a huge carry in game 2 and close to being a huge carry in game 1, so this time around I'm excited to see what he does. But a Nash and Sarah, interesting.
Yep, definitely some interesting picks here. Getting the Karma out on the board can be flex top, mid, and support.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Ashe Zyra on the side of MG Tempest. Shen as the pick for MG Empire here going into the second phase bans.
Yeah, the Shen seems to be a really love pick by Empire. They wanna, it has worked a lot. Even if he loses on the sidelines, they never use it for that. They go for the team fights and protecting their Jinx and the tank that goes in. So it's a great pick to have. The Hecarim ban, I think the Viego can go to the jungle, and I think Hecarim was an okay pick to live up. But if they are afraid of it, it's okay to ban it. The Orianna this time around to get the comfort out of the mid laner, which is kind of new. I'm amazed they banned the champion, honestly.
Yep, the Hecarim and Morgana and Orianna banned out here. That means we're gonna get some different looks here.
Yeah.
No Orianna for the side of GBUT, and just no Hecarim period. So seeing if that's going to be a Viego jungle or Viego in the mid or top lane. That's kind of like we said, the way that things can kind of go in terms of that flex. Shen, though, once again coming on out, has been their rock in the top lane, working very well for him.
Yep, he hasn't had to do almost anything in regards to lane. He just needs to survive, be able to do certain things in the map, and then just help his team around. I think that's a Karma mid then, and the Senna support.
Yep, looking like that's going to be the Karma mid with the Senna and Jinx in the bottom lane going into that Ashe Zyra. Should be interesting to see what they do between those two picks.
And I think the Senna is a great pick against the Zyra because I think she can just clear the plants with one auto attack, right? Just one auto and the Q can clear those plants really easily. So they will have a lot of control in that bot lane. And the Renekton pick here, I think that just means that the Viego will most likely go jungle. I think it will go jungle and the Renekton top lane against the Shen. But I think the Renekton is just... It needs to go really far ahead to be able to be really impactful, and I'm not sure if, from seeing the previous games, I don't think the Renekton will have that kind of impact.
Yep, if anything, it's going to be, I feel that Shen has just been quite a strong pick, and the way in which that Creamy has navigated him, he doesn't fall far enough behind for El Totoro to be able to get that massive advantage. So it looks like Elise is the final pick here. It is not the Blitzcrank. We are not seeing a Blitzcrank jungle here, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, I know I wanted to see that one. I've been waiting for that.
Or the Zyra mid.
Yep, it could have been a Zyra mid, Blitzcrank mid. You know, you got a whole lot of things. And Lilia coming out. So Elise and Lilia as the jungles here mean that is a Viego mid lane with an Elise as the jungle here.
Yeah,
we are getting ready to draft.
Interesting, but with the Elise, it's a really heavy early game composition to execute. They Renekton the Elise, and the Viego to some extent wants to get ahead early, but I think they have good enough setup in each lane so that the Elise can come in and try and gank. The Viego has a stun, the Renekton has a stun, the Zyra has a stun, and the slow from the Ashe, so maybe they can impact certain lanes. And there's 3 squishes in the map: the Karma, the Jinx, the Senna, and to some extent the Lydia, so maybe they can get that big advantage early from just the champions that they have drafted, and maybe they can snowball that to a big win towards 20 to 25 minutes. Because if not, MG Empire has so much damage laid with the Jinx, the Senna, and the protection from the Karma and the Shen, so that they can just try and outrange their enemies.
The absolute scaling advantage does come on the side of MG Empire, but MG Tempest definitely has that early game advantage. Renekton Elise in that top jungle combination is always very strong. Viego also fulfills that role pretty well in the mid
Yeah.
lane. So I'm expecting early ganks on the Karma and early ganks on the Shen. This Elise's goal is to be as proactive as possible in the early game.
Yeah, I think even more than on the Karma, they need to get that Shen killed by the minute. They need to have him have died 10 times by 10 minutes, because if not, the Renekton, like we saw last time, Renekton needs a huge lead, or not even a huge lead, but some kind of lead to be able to propel that forward. And the Shen has just been a neutralizer. He has just been there to suppress the pressure from the split pusher and then just go into teamfights. And that's what Empire wants to do. Something really important that I think we need to touch on as well is that the voting from Tempest as Shira is a kill lane at level 6. So if they can push their R buttons at level 6, they can explode the Karma and the Jinx, the Sen and the Jinx that are squishy.
Yep, definitely a very much an ultimate dependent lane, but even just from the standpoint of being able to kite them out. And if you land that Ash W, the volley for the slow, very easy to line up the grasping roots from Zyra. So
yeah,
it's going to be very much a, you want to play safe if you're the Jinx and Senna and wait for your opportunity, because if you step forward even a little bit too far, you are going to get punished by this Ashe Zyra. I'm expecting a cleanse out of the Jinx this game, not the heal, but we will see if they go with the cleanse there, and then I would expect the heal to be likely on the Senna if they do.
They could even go double cleanse, honestly. I think the Senna also needs to be careful with that.
Yep, they definitely could go the double cleanse route if that is what they choose. Looking like they're all shown they want to hover the ante, they want to play it like Jensen played it, but did not really play it very well, so rather not see that one if I do say so myself. Senna was the pick anyway, so going down into Senna. So definitely, yeah, just I'd say it's early game versus late game here. If Empire is able to survive the early game pressure that Tempest wants to bring, I mean, they scale a lot better.
Yeah.
They have a lot more tools to win in the late game.
Yeah, I think the timer for this game is mostly 25 minutes, like I said before. Even with an advantage, 25 minutes seems to be the okay point to give up the game. If the Tempest is not able to win by 25 minutes, I don't think they will ever win the game. But there's a big wildcard in the Viego that I'm not sure how it works so much, because it's been a global event. Nobody has shown his true potential, his true way to play. So maybe that can be the biggest wildcard in the game and affect the outcome of the game overall. But I don't think it will be as impactful as it may appear to be.
Yep, definitely going to be an interesting pick. Viego is definitely a new and interesting champion when it comes to a lot of his interactions. And he's had so many bugs laden with him that he's been banned from basically every competitive scene up to this point. So, but we've got him here. So first time we're seeing Viego here exclusively at Style Esports, coming in, pulling out game 3, big sister MG Tempest versus younger sister MG Empire. Seeing what they can do here in this critical game 3 here. I think that there's just going to be a lot of explosiveness around the mid and top lane. Again, this Elise's goal needs to be early ganks onto the Karma and the Shen. But if they don't get off to that massive of a lead, unless this Viego is able to 1v9, I gotta give it to MG Empire.
Yeah, and especially looking at how they have played the 3 games, even though the first game was won by Tempest, I think overall the better team has been Empire. They have executed better on the map. They have played around better. They have played better around objectives, around their winning conditions, around how to outplay their sister team in some sense. And I think Empire should take the win here, the 2-1, and give them the early win in the season.
Yep, absolutely. I've got to say, I personally give the edge to Empire. They typically have been having some just small errors and small execution errors that they can sure up on. But as long as they are able to sure up on those errors and not get lost in this early game onslaught that MG Tempest wants to bring, they certainly should be able to come out and win it. But let us know your thoughts in chat. MG Tempest, MG Empire, game 3, the deciding game here for these two teams. Who gets to have the bragging rights? Who gets to go 1-0 to start off this season at Style Esports? We will see you guys in about a minute for this game. See you soon. All right, everyone. Game number 3 coming at you here, Style Esports Season 7. We've got MG Tempest on the blue side, MG Empire on the red side. 3 games, same side each time. Battle lines have been drawn. TDS, what do we got? We've got this Viego coming on in.
Yeah, first Viego in the world, the Honor 2 first casted. So I hope to see some nice surprises. Maybe some solo kills, fancy outplays. Not sure, but there's always surprise. There's always things to see. But I think this time around, one of the big focuses needs to be around the jungle, Savage and Charisma. I haven't touched a lot about them, but Savage has been outplaying Charisma in the jungle so much. He has been able to outfarm him, outrotate him in the map, and being more effective overall as a jungler. So going into this game with at least a jungler that is so dependent on on her early game, Charisma needs to have a pop-up performance this time around.
Absolutely. If there is a Diffie in the Jiffy, then we are going to be seeing some seriously heavy plays, though, because Lilia is still such a strong jungler if she is able to get farmed up and get ahead, and Elise is so reliant on getting a
Yeah.
lot of that early game power, getting to that Night Harvester as early as possible. It looks like we got just both junglers going in the bottom side here, both grabbing those first buffs, potentially going for that full clear. You do have Charisma just looking, though, to go to the top side because of the vision that was placed down by the side of MG Empire.
Yeah, and this is something that should be expected from Charisma. He has to go probably needs to go obligatorily to top lane to get that gank off from Renekton, and it's something that should be expected at this time around. But the lane, if Criminal doesn't push this, the lane will just naturally go to him, and he shouldn't even die from a dive. I don't think they have enough damage early on to be able to dive him, but maybe he can die from that. So something we need to have into consideration as well going forward. Okay.
Yep, El Toro's first level 2 does manage to get a little bit of trade damage off, but not really anything significant. A lot of poke coming in onto MG Sloth from GBUT, the range versus melee matchup. That's typically how that goes for the first couple levels. However, if MG Sloth is able to get onto this Karma, Viego will tear her apart.
Yeah, and something that they're pinging on mid, but I don't think the list is going into. But the bot lane, what a great trade. So yeah, something that I said badly, I think, was that I thought the push would be for Jinx and Senna, but Siren and Nash have been dominating that push so easily. So maybe I need to take more into consideration the amount of damage that they are able to deal with the plants and the poke. Oh wait,
Yeah, but you've got a gank coming in here on Savage and immediately forcing out the flash. Lands Cocoon though. However, the Q coming in, potential turnaround here, but I think everyone's just gonna start to try to back on out, say, hey, we didn't mean it. We didn't mean it. Let's all go home here.
yeah, that's what the push from the both mid lane and top lane is able to give to the Elise. She's able to just go in and force the flash out of the Lydia. But if you look at the farm difference, Elise is almost 11 CS behind the Lydia right now. Even with the flash force, Lydia is in a really good position. Still, if nothing happening for minutes, it's going to be okay. Mid.
Yep. Potential gank coming into mid lane though. However, MG Sloth gets Rudon up.
She's dead.
Do have Savage coming on in and is dead, dies to the Elise. Does manage to make that worth it. So we'll see what they can do with a little bit of that gold coming in onto the Elise. Does get her ahead. Just barely ahead in gold though, just due to the extra camps that Savage was able to get in this early game. Managing to do a full clear of her jungle, where Elise only took 3 camps.
Yeah, and so unnecessary from the Lydia. She didn't need to die right there. They were trying to force a play on top of the Karma that was being ganked, but it wasn't necessary at all. Okay, bot.
Yep, you got
Heavy trade.
Grimstone Savant being caught out by Christian. That constant slow bombardment from the Ashe, taking her down to less than 200 HP, forcing her to have to heal back up. You also have Elise waiting in the rings, looking to go on Savage. Steals away the Gromp and is looking to go a little bit further. Misses the Cocoon though, critically. And you do have the inside track from Posin and Grimstone Savant. GBUT is also coming on in. Great repel to get herself some distance, and again, just a little bit of some disengage here, thanks to those Zyre plants.
Yeah, good steal by the Liz. She's now able to equal the farm from the Lydia, so now the Liz is more ahead than before, which is what you want to have with the Liz in these kind of games. But the Renekton hasn't been touched at all, and it's getting to a point where, if you can see, they're both equal in farm, and the Shen hasn't backed yet. If he is able to push this and back alone, it's going to be okay for him. Oh wait.
A lot of damage coming into that bottom lane, but she should be able to sit back just fine. However, Creamy is trying to duel with the Croc, with the Life God. El Toro is saying, get out of the water. It is not your time. Forces Flash out of Creamy. Forced him to recall. And now El Toro is going to push in this wave, forcing the Shen to have to teleport if he does not want to lose this cannon wave worth of experience.
Yeah, but it's not a huge lose for the Shen, as we know he has the stand united. It's not going to be as bad, but the flash, it's forced in a really bad way. He didn't need to force the flash to lose his flash like that. I think he just wanted to push the wave and be able to have a safe back, but he overextended really badly, and he even misplaced his abilities in a way that he could have used the shield on top of him and he would have taken even less damage than he did. But it's kind of misplay that can happen to anyone, so it's okay.
Yep, a little bit of a misplay from Creamy, which does give El Toro a little bit of an advantage and might draw this Elise to the top lane, knowing that the Shen only has the taunt. So as soon as he blows that taunt, very vulnerable to some CC, to a gank. But so far, not a ton of action going on here.
Yeah, apart from the first blood, nothing else has happened. And MG Empire, this kind of pace is perfect for them. They don't need to force anything, but if MG Tempest needs to push the Renekton and force the flash out of the Shen, MG Empire can just respond with something bot side and actually use the Shen ultimate to dive somewhere. Something seems to be happening, but I think they're going for Drake.
Yep, MG Tempest is setting up for the Dragon, clearing out some vision, establishing a little bit of their own. Should be a pretty free Dragon, just no positioning from the side of MG Empire, and the easy way to dissuade them with the Ash Volley and these Zyra Plants. Should make things pretty easy pickings there. Yeah, as you see Grimstone Savant just getting a little bit of damage from those abilities. Easy first Dragon. Mountain
Yeah,
Dragon for the side of MG Tempest with a Infernal Dragon coming up here in about 4.5 minutes.
yeah. It would be really sad that the first game that MG Tempest has and can push for a soul, they get the soul that they would need less. That it's the Cloud Soul. It would be really sad if that happens. Hopefully, it doesn't. But right now, really good play from MG Tempest, getting that Drake, getting with the control they had in mid and in bot lane. They can just push for that Drake and get that advantage early. Okay, Jinx.
A little bit of damage coming in, trading back and forth between Apazin and Christian. Damage coming in thanks to Inti Script, though. A lot of damage coming out of this Zyra. Her AP ratios are quite strong. If she gets some items, she can do a lot of damage. And a squishy 80 carry that probably didn't build
Oh
MR.
no, not
Immediately
in
the
front.
flash, though, does not juke the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Blows the heal, blows the flash, and you get a kill onto Christian here, only having to blow her heal and the flash from Inti Script in return. Some free plate money as well, and zoning this Jinx off the wave.
Yeah, that's what happens when you flash in a straight line against an Ashe. You're going to get hit by that 100% of the time. Really great ultimate by the Ashe, getting that kill early advantage. They need to have those kinds of early advantages, and now they get more plates and more gold on top of the Ashe and the Syra, which one that had to have that gold early.
Yep, and notice you still have Kajima just sitting in that bush saying, hey, this Senna might come back in the lane I can look for, and just zoning them off. Now down to 2 plates in that bottom lane. MG Sloth looking for a little bit of damage onto GBUT, but trading back and forth. Great job with the tether. Coming down to 1 plate left potentially on this bottom tower. However, you do have the Lilia, who's been farming up, taking a lot of that top side jungle. Good counter jungle from Savage, again, getting a lot of advantage
Wait,
when it
but
comes to the
yeah, look at the Vieg one, the at least really good response there.
great response from them to at least get
Okay, no.
something back. Oh, good flash from Savage. Manages to grab the red buff as well. So a good play from Savage. Gets out by the skin of her teeth, but blows the Viego ultimate and the Viego ignite, trading her flash in return.
Yeah, it's sadly for her. She has. Oh wait, bot lane play. The Renekton.
Ooh, a good flash from Apazin to dodge the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. However, El Totoro is coming on down. He teleported on down. Shen Stand
So
Unite
dead.
comes in, but it's too little too late to save the Groomston Savant. And you also have teleport coming in from GBUT, but nothing really to say here. A 1 for 0, costing 1 teleport for an ultimate and a teleport and a flash from the side of MG Empire.
Yeah, really far forward and really well executed by MG Tempest. They go for the TP play, having that TP advantage. Even though they have the Stand United, they still have that TP advantage, and they go for it, getting the Senna that doesn't have flash and the Stand United as well. This is the kind of advantages that they need to get to have the control of the game that they want and be able to win the game easily. And also, one thing we need to notice that the Jinx is behind. Not super behind in CS, but she's behind by a not a huge margin, but a certain margin. So that's good to have in the Ashe and the Syra as well.
Yeah, definitely is behind, just even given the fact that the Ashe has gotten 4 turret plates in the bottom lane,
Yeah,
plus a kill and 15 CS lead, is definitely sitting up pretty strong. Should be able to get to her mythic item well before Apazin will, and with no summoners besides the cleanse to the side of the bot lane, I'm suspecting some more ganks to come with that Enchanted Crystal Arrow coming right off cooldown in a few seconds.
or even just a 2v2 trying and kill each other with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow and or like that.
Yep, you've got Groomstone Savant caught on out, and
Maybe.
he has got a just... Oh, but you're trading back and forth. Apazin does manage to get that kill, trading 1 for 1. So good the Jinx is able to come back into that game, get a little bit of advantage, but we're not done. You've got the taunt coming in. Creamy jumps on in, however, El Totoro does
Karma
get
is also
in to get
there.
that flash. Savage is there, and the Karma blows the Dominus to try to at least delay, but delays really nothing. 350 gold going on to GBUT. How, but you do have MG Sloth getting at least a plate, if not two, in this mid lane tower as the trade. So still sitting about 2,000 to 2,500 gold behind on the side of MG Empire.
Yeah, a lot of gold behind, and the first turret I think going to be MG Tempest will get the first turret in bot really soon, and they're also getting the Drake right now. They also have the Herald they can drop it anywhere, but I think they need to do it before the plates expired so that they can get the extra gold. But overall, even though they lost the Ashe in a really bizarre trade, as well as the Renekton don't not needing to die over there, I think they still get a lot of advantage out of the map.
Should be pretty easy to get this bottom tower. I would not even blow the Rift bottom. You should be
Yeah,
placing that Rift mid lane, which she should be doing right now to be able to gather those remaining couple plates. Looks like she will be popping that Rift Herald there, sitting
they
down
can take
onto
that
3
turret.
plates now. Should be able to grab this tower. You also have the Zyra sitting in the back pocket if this Karma does try to step on up.
It's really sad. Karma
Yep,
can't
Shelly
die if
goes
she
down,
stays.
but you do have first tower is down now. We're gonna see if
She will
GBUT
die.
regrets her decision from staying there. You do have instead of
Oh,
staying in the back line, Stand United is used coming on in. MG Sloth forced to flash on out.
nice
Kajima
flash.
does not able to dodge the flash taunt, forces on out, and Inti Script dies to the Fawn. Savage picking up that kill. You may have gotten
Yeah.
first tower, but it did cost you 2 champions and a bunch of summoners.
Yeah, so we can still see the goal that it's for the side of Tempest. They are still ahead in goal, and that's what you want to have with this kind of composition. But they still don't get the turret, the bot lane turret that maybe they will get in a couple of in a couple of minutes without the plates. But I think this is a state of the game where for Empire, it's completely comfortable to be in. Even if they die, okay, wait, Lydia.
Vaj goes for that Lilting Lullaby, does get the Dark Harvest stack, but nothing else to really follow up on. But getting a good amount of damage down, though, preventing the
Yeah.
recall from the Viego. He's not able to do too much here, sitting at about 25% HP.
Yeah, a little overjealous, overzealous. She tried to go for the play, but I don't think she would ever have the be able to kill her. Maybe with the Super Mega Death Rocket and the Senna ultimate, but it would be expending too much for a maybe kill, which is not necessary. Going back, I think the game has slowed a little, and that's going against what Tempest needs to do. They need to keep pushing the issue and keep trying to get advantages. And they're close to being this okay. They're close to being able to get each turret in the map, and with that they can control the coming drakes. But sadly for them, as I thought it would happen, they get the Cloud Soul. It's not their ideal soul, so maybe that can slow the game enough so that Empire can win it.
Yep, not necessarily their ideal soul. However, the bot lane certainly loves it. Ashe and Zyra,
Well,
those are 2 ultimates that you are going to want on as low of a cooldown as possible. So if you can get that Cloud Soul pretty quickly, you get to always dictate your team fights if you are the side of MG Tempest.
yeah, and also being able to get the Elder in the map as soon as possible is also something that can act as a win condition for this kind of team.
Yep, MG Sloth might be getting caught out though by Savage, and GBUT utilizes his Harrowed Passage to be able to navigate itself on out.
Yeah,
Some
but
pings going down on the Rift Herald though, that's coming up soon. They might be looking for that if you are MG Tempest.
oh wait, Siege step. Okay,
Savant caught
whoa.
out again, forced to flash, immediately blows the ult from both Senna and Ashe, forces the cleanse out of a pause and taking the Enchanted Crusader, helping his support stay alive. But now you're going to get a lot of damage coming down onto this bottom inner tower. Not a lot that a pause can do.
Ooh. Yeah, not sure if that's worth to blow so much summoners to be able to save the Senna and even the ultimate from Senna, but it's better than dying at least. That's for sure.
Yep, can't do
The
much if you're dead, and you always give away that 300 gold. So definitely
yeah
want to try to stay alive if you can. Now we'll see if that lack of cleanse does get punished here in the next couple minutes, or if that lack of the Senna ultimate punishes them as well.
luckily the Drake is coming up in a minute. I think they can try and force the. Oh wait, you're going for the right?
The tether does not land. Another stun landing onto Groomstone Savant. Posturing around this dragon, trying to clear out some vision from MG Tempest here. But battle lines are being drawn. It looks like we're going to have ourselves a fight over this potentially third dragon for the side of MG Tempest. Tower does go down in the top lane. This Renekton is starting to gain his advantage now with his Prowler's Claw
Yeah,
over
I like the
Shen.
Brothers Scroll pick. That's a good pick to have, especially against so many squishes in the other team. With the Stride Breaker or the Gore Drinker, he would be able to maybe have more tankiness in the tankiness and all that. But I think he needs to be able to burst the target. So with the Brothers Glow, he will be able to do that. I think they're giving up the
Should
Drake.
Yep, should have not too much of a problem here. Looks like they are conceding dragon number 3, so MG Tempest gets that third dragon onto Soul Point here at about 18 minutes, and not even seeing a response from MG Empire to go for that second Rift Herald.
Yeah, and this is one of this kind of games is a perfect showcase of what most people don't like about going for these kinds of compositions that take kind of time against compositions like the Renekton, at least that are able to go so early into the game and try and get advantages easily. Because you are dictating the pace of the game overall. The MG Tempest is able to dictate what they want to do, what they will be able to get out around the map, and it's the point to the point of the people that like these kinds of compositions. But if they fall short even a little bit, they're dead. Like here, if the Viego dies.
Yep, but MG Sloth is being rooted on up, is being forced to utilize his ultimate, a great ult and a great flash to dodge the Wilting Lullaby. His ultimate interaction actually forces him to avoid the sleep from Savage. Actually did not know that's how that interaction worked, but I guess that's how
We're
Viego works,
learning
ladies
it
and
first
gentlemen.
time here.
Some great play from them, but I absolutely do agree though, like right now though, if you're the side of MG Empire, you picked 3 losing lanes, and they've all lost. So you need to find a way to stabilize in this game, because right now you're losing all these objectives. You're down 3 dragons. You're gonna give away this second Rift Herald. You need to find a way to get something, or unless you scale incredibly hard late, which you won't be able to do with a Cloud Soul, with an Elder, with Rift Heralds, with Barons. It's gonna be a very, very high mountain to climb here. Look like we might get an engage here onto a Poison, but does juke that out thanks to Gale Force, and has Flash and Cleanse back up if necessary.
Yeah. So, like you say, like we have said, obviously, it takes so much to be able to come back in these kinds of games, or not so much, but being able to dictate the pace of the game and what you want to do around the map is such a huge advantage that it just makes you you need to be able to play proactively really well, and most teams don't like that because it's the waiting game. It's kind of I need to be better at them in a in the sense that I need to wait better, and they don't need to make so much mistakes to be able to win against me just because of how some champion dynamics work. But I think most of the composition from Empire is so much better that if they didn't commit some of the mistakes that they did, like the first blood or dying with the Senna so many times without needing to, then this game would have been so close, so much closer than the gold lead shows, that MG Empire would be in such a good position. Even if they are losing 3 Drakes, they still have the champions to be able to just push forward.
Yep, and a 4K gold deficit at 20 minutes isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world. It's not certainly insurmountable. However, there is a tough mountain to climb. You do have Senna and Karma trying to duel this Renekton, but this Croc is saying, you gotta fight me. You're gonna have to fight the Rift Herald as well. Rift Herald does get the charge, does get that dragon, and you do have the Baron going over to the side of MG Tempest, going in. Apazin tries to steal with the Super Mega Death Rocket, not successful though, and the Shen Stand United was also blown as well.
Yeah. And so unnecessary, that kind of despair. They don't need to force on top of the Renekton. He doesn't need. Oh, she's dead. Yeah.
And Renekton flash Ruthless Predator to immediately destroy Groomstone Savant, sending Senna back
maybe
home.
they can get this trade.
But he might get caught out here. He might not have anything to do. Does get the shutdown, but the shutdown goes to Shen, not necessarily the person you want right now to get that gold.
It's not a bad person to have the shutdown though. If he gets more tanky, some of the champions from Tempest will never deal enough damage to kill him. Okay, the Lydia.
Oh, the Wilting Lullaby is going on in. The Lash Tether coming in from GBUT. However, he's just coming right into die. Christian is so
Ooh,
far
nice
ahead on this.
flash.
Ash flashes in, kills, gets the double kill onto Savage. Running away though, carefully kiting out against the Shen. Great juke of the taunt, and now she gets to run him on down. As Ash, as soon as you land any of those abilities,
Oh,
you are
Viego.
slowing, and MG Sloth's coming in from the side. He's looking for a
Oh,
pause.
nice
He's
down.
looking for the shot. Pausing with
She's
the
dead?
flash, with the
She's dead?
Gale Force, and Christian is gonna go down. Christian does go down to a pause, and he does manage to get a couple of those resets. Creamy barely getting on out. But
And here,
MG Empire is alive in this game still, ladies and gentlemen. But Dragon is coming up.
not only
12
alive, they
seconds, and Savage is not alive. There's still so much priority on the side of the map from MG Tempest.
yeah, they're not only alive. This makes the game closer than it looks like. They got some shutdowns, they got Baron out of many important champions, and they forced the TPI over Renekton.
El Toro just coming right on
He's
in, though,
dead? I
going
think he will
for
die.
going
Oh, wait.
for the Senna. Managed to get on out, however,
okay.
very low
She's
health
dead.
bars coming across the side of that. But NT Script is just going to go right on down. Kajima trying to make his way on out. Maybe bit off a little bit more than he can chew. Tried to sneak an EU
They can
death
go for
for just
Drake.
one
They-
person. They're going to go for this dragon here. It should be pretty free. It's a 5v3 here. 5v4 potentially if they do get
And
everyone
Renekton
here.
doesn't
But
have ultimate.
yep, the damage is coming on in. Ash does have the enchanted crystal arrow. If she looks for a fight, she might be able to land that hit.
No, the great disengage. They don't need to do anything. This is what I don't understand. What they were doing before, getting desperate for nothing. They don't need to force things to happen. Like this is, I think I'm kind of contradicting myself because I said that it gives the leeway to take the decisions most of the times, but being able to control the pace, yeah, it's fun and all, but just like we said before, so much time to do it. This composition scales better, and after 25 minutes, which we're close to that line, if you don't win by that time frame, then your composition just gets completely obliterated by the fact that the other composition scales even better. And now the Elise is not being useful at all. The Renekton, yeah, he's deal damage to the squishes, but they have enough CC to control him. And the Shen getting more and more armor I don't think he will ever feel the damage from the Renekton. So slowly but surely, NG Empire is getting into this game even stronger and stronger than they were before.
The scaling advantage
Oh,
is already
but
going in
great
place.
Asher.
However,
Yeah.
GBUT, GTFO. Go
Yeah,
back to base. Do not go past go. Do not collect $200. Taken immediately down by the Enchant Crystal Arrow and the Zyra Ultimate as well. Just absolute devastation right there, and allows GBT to just MGT to set up on this top side of the map, going for the siege here on this top inner tower.
I think it's dead. I don't think they need to protect the turret. It's not necessary, but okay, they are able to do it. They don't lose anything. But yeah, luckily for Empire, they won't lose anything meaningful in the map because neither Baron nor Drake are up. So it's a in a sense a meaningless death.
Yep, not a lot of stuff going on here but poke, but it looks like they are going to look to still take, or at least try to siege this still outer tower. They should be able to get this in the next wave or two, just with having the range and the damage on the ass. Should be pretty good. However, you've got GBUT coming on in, does manage to land some damage. Super Mega Death Rock comes on in. You get the ultimate from the Senna, and immediately Kajima is forced to Zonia's is just going to end up dead, but delays as much as possible given circumstances. And again, coming back in, a pause, and now 5-0 on this Jinx. This is a very strong AD carry player on a very strong scaling AD carry.
Yeah, and something that now that you mention it, and I think we haven't gotten too much into it, bot lane was being demolished early on. They were getting solo kills on them. They were getting the turrets really early, but the Jinx never died. She never truly fell really behind from the Ashe, and like we can see, she's 5-0 right now, 200 CS. Yeah, 40 CS difference right now, but still, she's still in the game. She's a total factor right now. And even though I don't like the rapid fire so much, it's still more range advantage. And now she will begin to become the true menace that she is.
Yep, this Jinx is going to become online here very soon. If she third items that Infinity Edge, she's really going to become almost unkillable unless you really lock her down. But as long as she has Cleanse Up, very difficult to kill. Pings coming around this Baron alive now and some vision being cleared on out. This is going to be the next big fight that we have coming up here.
Yeah, and Tempest still needs to be. Oh, Jinx.
Jinx is caught on out by Inti and
Oh,
walks away barely, but all those shields, all those heals do keep her alive, but it
yeah.
does force her out of this
Imagine
fight
having
right now.
100 shields. Oh,
Anti-script does manage to land a lot of damage. That Zyra is no joke, having a lot of that magic penetration, and the burn from Leandri's Torment is very,
yeah.
very strong in a lot of these squishy champions.
Oh, they missed. I think they can kill the. Yeah, she can die. She's dead.
Kashima is caught on out and is just going to likely be dead here unless she is able to repel.
Yeah, Kira
Manages to land the
Sharo.
repel, tries to trade onto Groomstone Savant, but is not able to. However, you do have Christian trying to poke around, get a little bit of damage off.
Yash.
Renekton jumps on in, jumps onto Apazin, is not able to get the kill. Stand United coming in onto Apazin, manages to get on out, gets the reset. However, Creamy is being taken on down. You do have MG Sloth coming on in.
Great
Flash
flash.
taunts, pulls the
He's
Shen
dead.
off for himself, but is not able to get the kill onto GBUT.
Oh,
And Zyra goes down once again. Christian, the last man, or in this case, Failure Woman, standing on the side of MG Tempest. However, just
she didn't need to do that.
bursts down the side of Apazin and gets the second kill
She's
onto.
dead?
Oh my gosh, triple kill onto
Why?
Christian. Ash stands her ground. She's got Bork, she's got Kraken Slayer, she's got Phantom Dancer, and she's saying, I want a Cloud Soul. Ladies and gentlemen, Ash, the queen of the Freljord.
That right there is solo queue mentality. You don't need to go for that play. You have the Karma TP. You have the Jinx and the Lilia alive with so much damage. You can just go for the Baron or the Drake that was spawning, get that objective, and the game goes on for even farther. Now the Soul is down. The Elder will come in 4 minutes, and they have complete control of the Baron.
Yep, all I can say is that Ash. That Ash is popping off 3 items, 3.5 items. And unless you get yourself a Miracle Steel here with the Super Mega Death Rocket, it's going to be a Baron and a Cloud Soul on the side of MG Tempest. No attempt there, and a late attempt stops the Croc from recalling here, but what an amazing turnaround play, courtesy of Christian navigating that Ash.
Yep. That just in a way the cherry on top, being the Ash and being able to carry the team fight alone after every member of your team was dead. She just pops off and kills everyone and is able to guarantee the Baron and the Drake.
Oh yeah, able to grab everything right there, and that's just they threw everything at. They threw the teleport, they threw the Jinx, they threw the Lily, and she said, okay, queen me, queen me, queen me. 1, 2, 3 with the kill, gets the dragon, gets the soul, gets the Baron, and now firmly in the driver's seat are MG Tempest here, looking to bust into this base on their next play.
Yeah, although in Empire's defense, they run in one at a time. It's controversial, but they run in one at a time. So maybe they don't do that the next time. Then maybe they can kill the Ash.
Yep, going defensive here for Apazin as well. Not going for the Infinity Edge, going for the Bloodthirster. So not going to get that crit multiplier just yet. Thinking he needs to be a little bit more defensive and a little bit more the ability to survive MG Sloth.
Well,
And
does he need to? I'm trying to think about that, but does he need to deal more damage or survive? Because if he dies instantly, then the game is over.
yeah, the Bloodthirster
wait,
is a
Ash.
good option.
Yeah,
However,
she's
you
dead.
do have immediately Groomstone Savant is caught on out. Apazin has got to utilize everything in his kit, but he still, even through the Bloodthirster, just gets absolutely obliterated. You've got the Croc coming in, El Toro saying, guess what? I'm here, and it is not time to swim in my pool. Savage is being taken down by MG Sloth. Viego utilizing the Heartbreaker, comes in for the ultimate, manages to go down though to Creamy. However,
That's cheap.
again, Christian is just saying, I am going to run over you. Zyra, however, securing that kill, flashing, given all the power, all the abilities, all the summers. And ladies and gentlemen, MG Tempest take down MG Empire here in game 3 here at Style Esports.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the elo difference mattered, and they won. Couple of really crucial mistakes was what defined this series, or this game and this series in general. If they don't overforce, which they didn't need to, they can just keep the game going and get to a point where the Jinx has 5 items and can easily destroy the Ashe. But I think maybe they were worried. I don't know. They didn't understand what they needed to wait for, because they just tried and forced things that never needed to happen.
Yeah, they definitely were just kind of overforcing certain plays and just, they found a couple plays that did kind of keep them in the game.
Yeah.
But the fact that they kind of found themselves while the composition of MG Tempest was on a timer, MG Tempest forced MG Empire to be on a timer of buffs, a timer of objectives. We have the Cloud Soul. We're going to be able to go for the Elder. We're going to be able to go for the Baron. Forcing them to have to come to their fight when they have the setup of an Elise and a Renekton, when they have the setup of an Ashe Enchanted Crystal Arrow and a Zyra Snare and plants. Walking into all of that just makes it so difficult to be able to pick these fights when you have fairly low range people like the Lilia, like the Shen, and kind of the Karma, that your only real damage source is a Poison on this Jinx, and you just don't have enough to be able to get through all of the crowd control and all of just the DPS of MG Tempest.
Yeah, Jinx probably needed at least one more item to be able to do what she wants to do, that is cut through everyone them. But I think the champion that really changed everything, even though the Ashe was she and the kills, I think the Zyra was really the best pick, because she was the one that controlled the terrain so easily. She got a lot of the peaks that MG Tempest was able to achieve. A lot of the peaks came from her. Even though the scoreline doesn't show it, she was able to almost always deal a lot of damage to certain champions, makes a give favorable position to Tempest, and that translated into controlling objectives and controlling what the team was able to do as well.
Yep, the Zyra did the second most damage to champions in the game at about 18,000. Only one higher was her lane counterpart of Ashe, sitting at 25,000. The highest damage champion on the side of Empire was the Jinx at 15,000, so wasn't even able to outbeat the support. Now, of course, the Zyras and the brand supports of the world will basically always do more damage than most other people, because that's the way their kits are designed. But I absolutely agree. IntiScript was able to do a lot of the prep and setup and just denial, whether it resulted in a kill at the time or not. Being poked down and CC'd by the Zyra to then say, I'm now at a quarter HP. I no longer get to contest for this objective. I no longer get to contest for this wave. I no longer get to contest for this fight. Very critical plays from IntiScript, who's been a little bit on both sides of the coin of either popping off or inting, and managed to come out being very critical for his team on this Zyra in game 3.
Yeah, and in this game 3, it was a great turn by the lane, because in the previous games, I think they were to some sense, the worst performers of the team. The Aposen and Groomstone were getting the better of them, and this time around, they truly made use of their champions and carried the game in the way that they needed to do it.
Absolutely was able to make their way through it and just play their style, play their game. And of course, your Style Esports, it's all about playing your style, doing the best that you can with the team that you've got and the way that you play it. But this puts MG Tempest, the elder sister team, 1-0 during this season 7 here at Style Esports. MG Empire falls 0-1 in the standings. But make sure you guys stay tuned, hit that follow, hit that subscribe button, do whatever it is you want to do. Stay tuned to more stuff with Style Esports coming up here in the next days and weeks as we navigate through this season 7. But a big shout out to both teams showing up today, all of you in chat, our producer, Mikey Marcus, and of course you, TDS. My name is Basket of Knives. This was MG Tempest versus MG Empire here on Style Esports. Have an amazing day, an amazing evening, and we will see you all next time.